Mr. Campbell, let me ask you something. Do you agree that the state law establishes an extensive procedure for challenging elections?
Yes.
All right. Did the plaintiffs avail themselves of any of these procedures?
No.
And why is that?
What?
What's up?
Oh, I think I might read this case at some point because now I feel like it might be important, but it's on the docket for later.
What case?
Okay.
What do you need from me?
Okay. I was listening through I think it's Short and Anthony, I think, where
Short and Anthony.
I think it's what is it? Is it Mark Short and the other Mr. Jacob.
Mr. Jacob.
Yeah, I think it was a VP counsel. Yeah. I feel like, so Jacob, when he was talking about Eastman's statements, there was something darker lurking in the background, and I think it makes me understand a lot of these court cases more. You've heard that quote where Mr. Jacob was saying that Eastman said they'd probably lose in the Supreme Court 7-2-9-0 if they had to rule on it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I listened through more of his testimony, and there was something darker that came out later on that Mr. Jacob said, and that's that Eastman said, basically, we won't have to worry about this, though, because the court will probably punt it because of the, what's it called, that major political decisions?
Political question.
Yes. So I wonder if a lot of these cases are being filed in bad faith because of two major assumptions. One is that Donald Trump can always pardon you of federal charges, which he's shown he's willing to do for anybody. And two, if it were to ever go before the Supreme Court, they would always just refuse to hear it because of the major questions doctrine.
Be careful. There's the major questions doctrine
Yeah.
and the political question doctrine. Don't confuse them.
Okay.
They're extremely different. The major questions doctrine is essentially a rule of statutory construction. It says we're not going to read into these kind of general statements like you can waive or modify any provision of a student loan program. And we're not going to read that into, well, Biden could just wave his hands and get rid of all student loan debt. That's the major questions doctrine. You might disagree with it as applied in that case, but that's what it is. A rule. It's like Chevron.
Major question is basically saying that, like, we're not going to okay like a form of statutory construction that allows for a massive thing to happen that wasn't like explicitly written. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Rule of construction, but it's people apply it in one way, not the other, and so there's a lot of criticism. But it is at bottom the court deciding the question of statutory interpretation and saying what the law is. So that's very different than the political question doctrine.
Okay.
The political question doctrine says there's a case that kind of established it, and now we kind of recognize it as two little branches. That the court is saying this question cannot be resolved by the court, either because A, this question was given to another branch of government. So say, for example, the power of impeachment. The group that has sole power of impeachment is the House of Representatives. And so the court cannot at any time look into maybe they're at the edge, the perimeters, you could say, that they could see if there was a procedural correctness in the impeachment. Did you get enough votes to impeach? Maybe.
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay. So it wasn't the major questions; it was the political questions thing.
Yeah.
But but Mr. Jacobs says that after Eastman basically admitted that they would lose if it went before the Supreme Court, his view was that the court simply wouldn't get involved because they would invoke the political question doctrine, and therefore they had.
What are they saying there? What they're saying is the court would say, "Hey, this question about whether or not the Electoral Count Act was done correctly, that's a question for the political branches.
Yeah.
The Constitution puts it in the hands of the vice president or in the hands of the branches of Congress to figure that out. It is not a justiciably resolvable case by the courts, and so we dismiss.
But what they're saying is, a step further, is that if the certification on January 6th had been stopped, there was basically nothing that anybody could do for whatever. Because, like, the Supreme Court would never touch it. So even if they're saying, well, if you guys don't like what we're doing, you can challenge it to the courts or whatever, that was never true because their opinion was that a court would never actually touch this thing anyway, and they could just carry through unobstructed, basically.
You've entered a new state of being, Stephen. You've entered a pseudo-nirvana state. Because this is essentially what you're saying at the moment.
Okay.
The argument from people that you'll hear, the bad faith argument, the argument that you should reject is...
Wait. Somebody just knocked on my door. Hold on one second. If I die, I love you, okay?
Yeah, always have. Comedy Shorts Gamer here. going on? Southern speaks.
Okay, sorry. Just go ahead. What's up?
Okay. Where were we? Oh, you had reached the new state of nirvana.
Yeah.
The bad faith argument that you've been approached with is that this was just a legal theory. How many times have you heard that, Stephen?
I've already, that's also that 12th Amendment and constitutional are code words for breaking the law.
Yeah.
Every single time they invoked the 12th Amendment, they were doing so to say that they can break the law for the ECA. That was the only reason it was ever invoked. And it was a bullshit legal theory. But yeah, go ahead.
You have reached either inadvertently or advertently you know that part in Inception when you are like, fuck, what is it? Like the world between worlds or whatever. You've reached it because now you've discovered absolute evidence that at least if you believe him in this place, that is Eastman, he was never intending these legal theories
to be tested,
actually tested
yeah,
in a court of law. And so the ultimate thing that's going on here is if it's just a legal theory, who gets to test it? Well, the people who implement it. And so the people who did it are the ones who determine whether it's legal, not the courts of law. And if that's your position, if your position is the people who say it's legal are the people who are doing this legal theory, then in what world is that a legal theory that we should like be accepting? It's like as though the robber were testing the legality of his own robbery, or the thief were testing the legality of the fact that he stole the diamond. It's the ultimate bedrock that shows they didn't actually want this to be litigated in the court. What they wanted to do was win. What they wanted to do was steal the election. That's what they wanted, and they would have taken any situation that got them there.
Yeah, and then after that happens, they can figure anything else out. As long as Trump is in office, you've got pardons, you've got mucking up the courtrooms, you can do whatever the fuck else you want because you have infinite time now. Yeah, and
this is the ultimate black pill. Imagine that the court, that the vice president actually did declare that this, they had dueling states of ballots, and for whatever reason, they were able to have it so that the House of Representatives by state delegation voted for president under objection, and they said that Donald Trump was the correct winner under that theory. If that happened, do you think that this Supreme Court would stand in once the states sued the Congress, that this court would step in and say, what Congress did was wrong, Congress has to certify Joe Biden as president? Do you think that this court would do that?
I would hope that Amy would join, and I would hope that Gorsuch would, just because I like the way that he writes. Thomas is never doing it. I don't know. Maybe Kavanaugh would. Maybe you say Roberts is the center of the court. Maybe he would. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. But this is also a reason what you're bringing up now too, and it's something I keep reiterating over and over again. And I said this in the past, and now I walk it back hardcore. The idea that like, oh, our institutions survived. Our institutions are stronger than I thought. Our institutions, right? They are. They're good. But at the end of the day, it comes down to people running those institutions. And there truly were like some monumentally important people that were involved in this. A lot of who like nobody will ever know the name of. Like a lot of the White House legal counsel, these guys were fucking heroes, like unironically. And these guys are all fucking Republicans too. All of these guys are I don't know if there's a single Democrat in any of this White House council. Yeah, they're all Republicans. So yeah.
All Republican MAGA.
Well, I don't know if they were MAGA, but they were Republicans for sure. Yeah, but
well, I guess kind of circular in a way. You're only MAGA if you're with Trump all the time, and so to the extent that you step out of line, you were never MAGA.
Yeah, but have you, dude? So many. I'm getting sent. I don't have the time to listen to all of them. So many of these hearings are wild. Like
I was watching them Vivo. I was watching the one that you just the sanctions motion one. This one I was watching Vivo, and I was just like cheering on the judge. I remember going through all the stages of the Campbell guy lawyer and all the ridiculous things he was saying. Yeah, it's insane. People don't even know the 1% of it. It is the most crazy actual conspiracy that really does every go on.
Yeah. No, yeah, every single part of this that you touch is just insane. All of it. The people that I'm the most jealous of, the lawyers, whatever firm did all the Dominion lawsuits, that had to have been like the most fun that any like law firm has ever had. those suits are all crazy. The information in all of them, how clear and concise like the lies were, just the insanity from the defendants on all these is just so crazy. But yeah, every part of it is so wild. And even listening to these guys in these hearings where the judge is like, okay, well, hey, so like for this affidavit, do you know if they broke the law? And the people like what was the response? I think this Klein dude said, he was like, well, it's common sense, Your Honor. Like,
yeah. Oh my God.
What?
Oh
or
my
like,
God.
well, do you know if like, do you know for these affidavits, are these people, oh, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, I guess. So the problem with some of these affidavits is like, so there will be one of the affidavits that went over, the lady, or the person in the affidavit was like, I saw people put bags into a USPS truck and they might have had ballots and I'm not sure what they were doing and I don't know where any of these people were going or I don't know where they came from, right? So that was basically the affidavit. And the judge is like, what are we doing with this? And then the lady's like, well, if you would allow us to have an evidentiary hearing, we can go over these. My understanding for an evidentiary hearing is this is just making sure it like comports with like the rules of evidence and can be submitted to the court. You're never going to like verify or gather more information about like an affidavit or something in an evidentiary hearing, right? Or can you do that in an evidentiary hearing or what?
There's a pleading standard that you have to come to court with. And in the United States, there used to be a time where you could essentially plead anything you want, or I'm sorry, it's the opposite way around. There used to be a time where you had to have there was like a big kind of threshold to meet in terms of what you had to say in your complaint. A pleading is a complaint, or like the main kind of documents alleging forth the thing or the response. So the answer or the complaint or the cross complaint, things like that, right? Those are pleadings. That's why they call it a pleading standard. And nowadays in the United States, in U.S. courts and in most state courts, there's the notice pleading standard, which means you just need to put people on notice of what the claims are against them. However, there still are certain thresholds of plausibility that you need to reach before you're allowed to come in and have discovery and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, and you still need to allege
a crime,
claim,
or
in this case, in the civil case, a claim, right? So, when you hear one of the bases for dismissing is failure to state a claim, it is like, as you're saying, right? Like you're not, even if true, the statements you allege are not alleging something cognizable by the court. There is no thing associated with this as a legal matter. You dismiss as like a matter of law, essentially. Now, in addition to that, the court does not need to take or assume the conclusory statements of law made by litigants or anything like that. And things could be such leaps, such speculation, that it doesn't even reach the plausibility standard of a motion to dismiss, things like that. So what they're saying essentially here is, even if true, right? Even if true, these claims don't state something for which relief can be granted, and you should have known that.
Yeah,
right?
of course,
You, as an officer of a court, you have a duty to inform yourself and to do the basic amount of due diligence. And for you to come and say, "Hey, I'm not an expert. I don't know. I just threw something and saw what sticks," they're essentially alleging bad motives in your whole process of getting to court. That's why you're hearing some of the this was for PR, this was for this, and essentially saying to the court or the people on the other side that this was not done in good faith. There was not a reasonable inquiry done to see if these claims even said something worthy of relief.
Yeah,
it's nuts. This entire thing.
Pretty wacky.
Is it making you more or less radical?
Making me more or less radical. I don't know. It makes me hate some people a lot more, and it makes me appreciate other people a lot more, I guess. Seeing that there are a lot of good people in the system that are doing a lot of responsible things. Pence's personal counsel was talking about in front of the committee that when we were presented with these things, we did a reading of the entire history to see whenever there had ever been an elector rejected by the VP. We had all of our people read into this. There's a lot of people doing a lot of homework, but there is a lot of the thing is, Pisco, this keeps happening over and over again. Okay, this is the thing. The thing is that Donald Trump did. This is the deep state. Right? What he's doing is what is being alleged against the Dems, but this is actually happening. But the problem too is that, and I've always said this in the past, I've always said, I don't believe in broad conspiracies that implicate hundreds or thousands of people, because you just can't hide that. It's just not, I don't think it's possible today, but it's happening, but it's not being hidden. Again, we're watching this. All of it is super, super out in the open. This is all the answers given here are jokes. This is ridiculous.
I want to give you another example of that, because it is both massive conspiracies that are coming out, and its projection. So the other example I want to give to you is the Russia story and the Zuckerberg statement. Do you recall the recent
Oh
statement
my
by
God.
Zuckerberg?
Yeah,
about that?
to fucking Jim Jordan. That Jim Jordan probably came on 15 times before he wiped it off and published it. Yeah.
But hang on. Even accept Zuckerberg's statement.
Mm-hmm.
Conspiracy is Donald Trump and Rudy Giuliani. How do we know that, right? Why was it? Does anyone know? Why was it that the Department of Justice and FBI were telling social media organizations to watch out for a Hunter Biden Burisma story? Why was it? Well, we know from the indictment of Alexander Smirnov, that FD 1023, that prior to those warnings, there was a literal Russian spy trying to feed the DOJ a fake story about the briberies through Burisma and Zlochevsky of the Bidens. We know that, right? He was indicted for that. And the DOJ was aware. So, of course, the DOJ is now aware after having Alexander Smirnov tell them this bullshit story that they're able to debunk. Of course, I would want the DOJ to put our social media companies on notice that this is happening, right? And this is, in fact, the story that they're trying to push. Don't you agree that we would want a DOJ to be like, hey,
yeah,
this fake stories being going around?
And this is one of the things that's so annoying is that there is no good faith assumption from anything, right? Like, for instance, on the COVID stuff, I think that we can all look back, especially when it comes to schools, and say some of the lockdown stuff probably wasn't, it didn't work well, right? We either shouldn't have done it or in the future we won't do it. But rather than saying like, okay, well, a bunch of people got together, they were trying their best, and they made mistakes. It's like, no, it was a conspiracy. It was a massive, broad conspiracy.
But it was a conspiracy, and I'm going to tell you why.
Wait, what was a conspiracy?
Because the next part is going to, for those of you who don't know, it's going to blow your minds. But you all know. The thing is, your brain has wiped it away because there's so much shit.
Oh.
In 2019, prior to Smirnov going to the DOJ, what had happened? Donald Trump, on orders of Donald Trump, Rudy Giuliani had opened a path with the Attorney General Bill Barr to vet his claims against the Bidens. There was a separate whole intake process by which Rudy Giuliani was vetting claims, criminal claims, to the Trump DOJ against the Bidens. And Rudy Giuliani is traveling where? On orders of the President of the United States, Donald Trump. He is going to Ukraine, or sending his cronies to go to Ukraine, to pressure Prosecutor General Lutsenko at the time to announce investigations and charge the Bidens in Ukraine. Who else is he pressuring? He is pressuring President Poroshenko directly to announce investigations, announce charges against the Bidens. And then, in that perfect call, what is Donald Trump doing? Donald Trump is calling President Zelensky for the same exact thing. And so you ask, why is it that the DOJ is warning about the stories of Burisma? Who's pushing the stories in 2019? Who's the one that's trying to get this narrative, that's this Russian-originated narrative? And where is the DOJ receiving all this from? They're receiving it from Russian spies and Rudy Giuliani and Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. This entire thing was a conspiracy, and it shows, right, this statement, the fact that they're being warned that the underlying conspiracy, that of the perfect call and the pressure campaign against State Department officials and against Ukrainian officials, counter to the interests of the United States, that was being done by Trump, by Giuliani, and their cronies. And so the real conspiracy is the fact that was going on, not that the DOJ was trying to protect the American people against those efforts. And so it's all projection. It's the opposite, right? The true conspiracy are the people going to Ukraine and trying to pressure our State Department officials to come up with a bogus story against the Bidens.
Sure.
It's all projection.
I hear this so much. Greenwald has used this line. That one, was it Lockdoid, or maybe Sean used this line too? Have you ever heard that stupid fucking saying is like, you can indict a ham sandwich?
Yeah, I know it.
It's so frustrating that people will use that. Greenwald did it again on Twitter, and they pretend that, like, when especially for federal indictments, they pretend that somebody's indicting based on the idea that the highest standard of evidence they'll ever find is the probable cause, right? Like, if you can indict a ham sandwich, why is it that, federal convictions are, depending on how you count them, either 90 to 98% from the indictment? Like, are they really just that corrupt, or what's happening? Or is it really hard to indict a ham sandwich, or what? Like, it's such a stupid, but then, so they'll go on like a federal indictment, they'll say, oh, federal indictment, that means nothing. But my God, dude, if you put the right affidavit in front of them, and this is better than like a fucking court conviction. This is better than like a Supreme Court ruling. Like, these affidavits, they will hold on to these, or these whatever that statement from the Russian informant guy, like, these individual pieces of paper.
1023.
Yeah. These individual pieces of paper will be the most important thing in the world. But everything else, it's ridiculous. I also think you tell me real quick. If this is normal. Is it normal for anybody else, or has it been ordinary for presidents to retain so much private counsel that they deploy while they're in office?
I'm not sure. Presidents have a lot of attorneys, but it is true that a lot of people have gone after Trump, and so I don't like
not just
blame
attorneys,
him
but I
at
mean
all.
like attorneys doing professional work. Like for it's like so for like when we talk about like Obama, you know, seeing if he can drone strike somebody, right? He went to the Office of Legal Counsel, right? Is there an example of a president like when you talk about Giuliani going to Ukraine? To me personally, that feels like it should be some type of crime. But I guess the president has wide deference to assign people to particular role because Giuliani's nobody, right?
He was the personal counsel to the president.
Well, careful when you say when you say personal counsel though, that's no White House position, no government position, just like his as a citizen, right?
Yeah, that was part of why, if you look at the first impeachment, that's the other big black pill is look at the first impeachment. The stuff there is insane. Yes, that's why it was called like the shadow Secretary of State.
Yeah.
He literally had Giuliani acting as a shadow Secretary of State, shadow ambassador, shadow because he was deniable, because it was like the plumbers from Richard Nixon. These are people who are outside of the normal structure of authority of the government, but Donald Trump is
so there's no oversight, there's no OAG or whatever, there's nothing. They just operate. And then here's a question too.
About deep state, right?
What? Yeah, literally. So not only do they get to operate with impunity and no oversight, are they allowed to claim executive privilege as well, though, when it comes to protecting their testimony?
They tried.
So yeah, it's just wild. It's wild, and this is all, but it's not even wild in like a crazy conspiracy. It's wild in that it's like such an overtly open conspiracy.
Yeah. I mean, I happen to think that the first impeachment, the Ukraine stuff, the Russia stuff that we're talking about right now, that alone makes Trump. You can't elect someone who abuses the office like that. You can't elect someone who is going to foreign countries for their own personal political benefit and deploying the shadow diplomacy to try to announce fake investigations. That can't. Imagine that Joe Biden did that. I mean, like, it is disqualifying, like, completely to do that.
People will compare everything that Trump did there to Joe Biden being on stage saying, I told him we wouldn't give him the money. Yeah, and it's like, bro, why do you think he's saying that, like, on stage in a public video and nobody cared at the time? Like, don't you think he's representing the policy of the United States? Don't you think he's representing, like, the will of literally the entire European Union and the contingency that we had in place for these loans that were going to give Ukraine if they cleaned up? Like, why are you acting like this is at all? Yeah, this is so...
Yeah, dude, and Dershowitz. I'm going to talk a little bit of smack about Dershowitz. Dershowitz says it's not even a thing to abuse your office, right? You can't even have it that you abuse your office, that it's not impeachable to abuse your office. So we're literally at the stage where Trump's lawyers are arguing, he cannot be indicted for conduct that is he's done in the sort of pursuit of his office, because that would be subject to immunity. He cannot be impeached for using that same authority, because that would be too far. With
the legislature would be placing limitations on the executive that are
And so they're literally saying that you can't even impeach him for it. You cannot remove him from office for abusing his official powers. And if you can't impeach him for abusing his official powers, and if you can't
criminally charge him for it,
then you literally have a king. I mean, that's literally authoritarianism.
I wonder. I don't think it would happen because it would just be so ridiculous on its face. But I wonder if you could ever get to a point to where somebody tries to impeach like a Republican president, and they said that right, technically for impeachment. Now you can technically impeach for any reason, but the in the Constitution.
Just real quick.
Yeah.
So separate. I like that you're thinking this way, but just separating your hands in your mind. The Congress can impeach, but they have to impeach for a high crime and misdemeanor.
That's what I was just about to say. I was going to say, impeachment for conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. Is there ever a reading here where it's like, well, but if the president can never be indicted for a crime or misdemeanor related to his office, then like, can you only impeach a president if he like commits a felony that like he's like reckless driving, or like what would even... Like he steals or he rapes somebody, or it's such a wacky.
I don't even know, but just be careful. It's not necessarily actual crimes. This term "high crime and misdemeanor" is a term of art which people like Dershowitz don't truly comprehend or understand. But just again, I just want to stress this point: people say you can impeach for anything. That's a shorthand for them saying, well, Congress can impeach and there's no review because it's a political question left to the House of
Congress.
Representatives.
Yeah.
But they're only technically supposed to impeach for high crimes and misdemeanors. It's just they're the ones who decide what those are.
Sure.
And so, yes, what is a high crime and misdemeanor? I think that there is an answer, and I think that if we had the power to review it, that the courts would come to an answer, but the Congress is ultimately the one who decides. If it's the case that you cannot be indicted for an abuse of office, I don't think it necessarily follows that you cannot be impeached, but I think that an argument could be made by people in the Congress that says, hey, if he can't be indicted, then what are we talking about for this kind of thing? And it kind of obviates the whole need for impeachment at all if you can't even do anything about abuses of office, which is the whole purpose of impeachment. I blame that more on like Dershowitz and Trump's attorneys and the people who kind of promote them, that they're essentially making a system where the president is literally above the law in every respect, even with respect to impeachment.
Yeah, and it's annoying because they do this the same way they do with the doctors, the medical doctors that talk about how fake COVID is and fake vaccines are. They'll say things like, well, there are really good legal scholars that say, no, there's not. There's like a few. They've got like a handful of kooks and quacks, right, that are willing to co-sign like these insane opinions, but like the vast majority of the field, legal scholars wouldn't sign on to this. Nobody actually believes this is bullshit, right? They just have a couple people that they found and they're, on their side of the aisle that's willing to co-sign these insane opinions and then be co-conspirators with them. And that's
Who's your dark horse person as part of this plot that you really want to see have justice done? Like not Trump, but like someone who is more like surreptitious or who's not talked about.
For people that should be in jail, I think almost everybody that is anybody that was involved in like any of the filings or presentations. So obviously Giuliani, obviously Eastman.
Oh wow.
Obviously, why would you say oh wow for Eastman?
No, I agree. I just think that's.
I think for Eastman, I think it's even worse because like, did you see the Silverglade?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I should though, right?
No, it's not.
Watch it.
It's a waste of time.
Oh, don't watch it?
No, yeah, because he's saying you can always give your client cutting edge legal advice. That was basically his whole argument. Yeah, but I mean, he's defending him, so I don't know why he would even do a stream. He's obviously not going to admit that he's wrong about anything. You can't, right? He's just
I mean, the question almost becomes if Eastman had given the advice to Donald Trump, hey, you need to get the military to go inside there and seize all of the senators and install yourself as president. Does he think that cutting edge legal advice would be, and him saying that's not even illegal to do, it's constitutional to do that, you have complete control of the military and you cannot be indicted for use of official powers, would that be immunized?
Maybe. Well, the argument he's making is so strong. There are three huge questions I would have, or three huge points of contention. One, because he was talking about how like, well, how do you think certain actions get before the Supreme Court or before a court? There's a difference between somebody breaking the law and finding a lawyer versus a lawyer advising you to break the law so that you can go before a court. Number one. Number two, there's a huge difference between, or number two, your lawyer can't just advise you to break any crime. Like you just gave that example. Like you couldn't ask a lawyer like, hey, how can I legally like rape a lady, or how can I legally like murder my wife? And then your court, your attorney like gives you advice to do it and say like, well, I don't know, maybe the First Amendment will protect this, or maybe the whatever amendment will protect this. This is insane. And three, and I think this thing hurts Eastman the most. Eastman was not just an advisor. Eastman was a collaborator and a co-conspirator. He literally worked with Trump the entire time. He was contacting people. He was arguing with people. He was like part of the email chains. He was like working with it the entire time. He wasn't just an advisor. He was like part of the process the entire time.
Yeah. Eastman is a piece of work.
Shit. And Powell too. These people were like, and they were blatantly lying the entire time.
Powell pleaded guilty.
Who?
Powell pled guilty to the Georgia indictment.
Oh, nice. Good. Yeah, she's fucking insane.
So did Jen Ellis.
Nice.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that. Or I know that there are some people that have flipped on the RICO case, but I read that a long time ago before I knew all their names, so I'd have to go back and read now and be like, oh, I see. Yeah. Anybody that was involved in submitting or presenting anything in front of any of these like state legislatures or anything, not even courts, because a lot of them didn't even make it to court. It's just, like it was all lies and bullshit. And I think that you, at the very least, you should be sanctioned or disbarred because you're putting your reputation on the line. That's part of what you do, right? Like imagine somebody says, hey, Destiny, I don't know if this is good enough. Can you like come and like help me, convince some people on some things? What you're asking is, can I borrow some of your reputation and kind of like work off your reputation here so that you can support my thing? Imagine me doing that for somebody and then afterwards going like, I didn't read any of his shit. I don't fucking know. Like, damn. Well, then what the fuck was the point of having my credibility there, right? And it's the same thing with, Yeah, with all of these attorneys, and there are so many of these attorneys. Anybody here, I don't know if like they should take an IQ test, and if you're below like 75, you automatically get disbarred or something. But like the arguments that are being put forth by a lot of these lawyers here, these guys should all be sanctioned or disbarred. I'm sure there are like dozens or hundreds of names I don't even know. Like this Donald Campbell guy, he shouldn't be practicing. Julia Haller, I don't know if she's a lawyer. Like when you're saying things, when a federal judge is asking you like, hey, like how do we even know a crime is being broken here? Did you guys reach out to anybody? And the answer is either, well, it's common sense, or well, we thought that in an evidentiary hearing, maybe we'd go over that. Like a federal court has infinite time to go through your 1,000 pages of bullshit affidavits to see if they're worth anything or not. Like these are ridiculous answers. Like all of these people should be held to account for something. There's no way you could just walk away from this and be A-okay. That's wild.
They should all have things happen to them.
Yeah, it's just and
That's
it's
common sense.
and it just bothers me because it's so open, and it is the deep. This would be the equivalent of the deep state. If it would have worked, this is the deep state, right? Eastman,
That's
you saw
my
that
favorite question. Yeah,
the email. I think it was on the 11th where Eastman was. I think he was emailing Giuliani, and the third point in the email.
Pardon.
Yeah, he said, "Hey, actually, I changed my mind. I kind of do want to be on that pardon list. So can you go ahead and throw me on that?" Like, what? Does it show intent? I don't know. But like, Jesus Christ, bro.
Okay, I'm gonna challenge you because this has just been a glaze fest.
Yeah, do it.
Glaze. It would be extremely corrupt for Joe Biden to give a pardon to Hunter Biden. Agreed?
Honest to God, I don't. I'll agree with you, but I don't know what the. Here, can I ask you a question first? What the fuck is the purpose of a pardon? Why does that even exist at all?
To free people who are, I don't know. It's the discretion of the president. You know, if you want to get someone free because they're had too long of a sentence, or because the crime isn't a crime anymore, or because of other equitable reasons in their discretion, like it's pretty broad. There are a lot of reasons why you could give a pardon.
Okay.
But it's probably improper.
At the very least, the
Pardon if
perception
you
would be
love him.
so bad that it probably shouldn't happen,
Well,
right?
then, will you condemn Joe Biden if he pardons Hunter Biden?
Well, I condemn him if he pardons him. What if he just gives like clemency or whatever for the sentence?
Anything, any reprieve because he loves him.
What is he? I mean, what is he facing? What is he facing right now? Do you know?
He just pled guilty without any deal to the tax offenses as well. So he'll be guilty of the gun charge, and he just pled guilty to the tax offenses. He could face decades in prison.
Was the tax? It was $250K over.
Something like that.
Um.
Uh-oh.
What?
You want to think about it a little more?
Well, I'm just curious because, like, if it was like he could face a maximum of like, or he's likely to face like 3 months in prison, and like Joe Biden like provides clemency or whatever, I'd be like, okay, that's pretty shitty. But if it's like he could go to jail for like serious time in what is inarguably an insanely political prosecution, should he?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think he's going to get the maximum then, the 17 to 20, but let's say he gets like 5 years. And Joe Biden's like, that's too much for my boy. Pardoned. What would you wouldn't be mad. You wouldn't really care.
Well, I think it would depend on which one. The gun one was crazy. The tax one, he legitimately fucked up, right?
He pled guilty to lying.
About what?
Doing tax fraud.
1 tax evasion count and 2 counts of filing false returns. Yeah. So like I think the gun charge was bullshit, but the tax one seemed like it was a legitimate thing. So like let's say he got like sentenced to like 3 or 5 years in prison or whatever relating to the tax stuff. I think that's probably fair. And I think if Biden commuted that sentence or provided clemency, I don't think he should do that. I think that would be a bad thing.
A corrupt thing.
When I say it's corrupt, it's hard to.
Uh-oh, your Democrat bias is showing.
Good one. Yeah, I don't know if I'm
Don't
saying. I don't
meme
know
your
if
way
I'm
out of
saying-
it.
I'm not memeing my way out of it, but you're memeing your way into it. You understand that you acknowledge the difference between bad and corrupt, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So would it be corrupt?
What is the difference? Corrupt is like you're misusing the legal process, or you're misusing for some improper purpose.
Yeah, that's what corruption feels like to me. So, for instance, if Donald Trump was to pardon, like Donald Trump's pardons for people like Manafort or Flynn or Stone or Bannon, people that worked with him to do illegal things, that feels corrupt to me. If Biden were to pardon
His boy, his only.
yeah, if he were to pardon, let's say
son.
Donald Trump pardons Trump Jr. because Trump Jr. did tax fraud or something, I would say that's probably bad. Now, if he did tax fraud to
Not
help
corrupt.
Donald Trump, I don't know if I would say it's corrupt. Maybe bad, yeah. But it's
What if-
also hard
yeah.
too, though. Another thing that I'm fighting with a lot in my mind is that Republicans have now, I say Republicans, MAGA has like rewritten the rules on presidential power. So now I wonder how the president will be the proper way for the president to wield it. You agree that Biden is never taking advantage of the criminal immunity thing, right? It's just not in his nature, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's in his nature.
Yeah. So the idea of,
But he also said, Biden said he wasn't going to pardon his son.
yeah, I mean, if he said it too, then he also shouldn't, of course, right? That would be hypocritical.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would ever rise to the level of corruption, but I'd say probably bad.
Because Joe Biden can never be corrupt. That's what you're saying.
No, I think Joe Biden could be corrupt. I just don't know if it would be in this circumstance. Like, let's say that I found out that Hunter was lying on his taxes to pass money off to his dad. Then I would say, okay, well, that's mega. That is corruption right there, right?
Yeah. Could be. Would be. But
The Trump pardon
pardon
list is insane, though. And it feels really stupid looking at the Trump pardon list to, yeah, I don't know.
to compare.
Yeah.
But,
That's,
but he's not pardoning him because he's a tax cheat. He's pardoning him because he's his lovely little boy. That's
sure,
why he
but
was-
Trump pardoned everybody around him because they were loyal to him and because they
Okay,
helped
but that's
him.
a whataboutism. That's a whataboutism.
Well, it's not a whataboutism. It's what the prior president did and established the proper use of the powers, and now the courts have provided infinite protection for the utilization of those powers.
So am I pushing you towards saying that this would be okay for him to do? I'm really bad at convincing you. Horrible, actually.
That it would be okay. Well, no, I'm like, I lean. My intuition is to lean against it, that he shouldn't do it. But calling it corruption, I'm not sure if I would be corrupt or not. Like I said, the gun charges feel like bullshit to me. The tax charges is where, from what I'm aware of, seemed legitimate though. That he legitimately did lie on his taxes. In which case, I mean, whatever penalty is there, he should face that penalty, and the president shouldn't be able to save him there. But I'm really, after the Trump assassination, my brain is like kind of broken on operating under two completely different sets of standards, and I just don't consider any type of plea or statement from a conservative like these people are not human to me when it comes to considering
wow,
any
you shouldn't say
statements
that.
about like law or process or procedure or whatever. These people are disgusting. It's insane to me. So yeah, I don't know.
All right, before I leave, who are you going to call out? Charlie Kirk, Jack Posobiec? Who are you calling out?
For what?
Next debate.
Oh, I don't know. Nobody will ever debate on these things. I realized that. I had like a strategy meeting with, that's why we're going to start doing news segments. I had a strategy thing talking with Erudite, and I just realized that the concept of bridges is impossible, that people won't actually engage with you on the merits of anything that like a deeply held belief because they know that they're incorrect on them. So it's either a grift or they're getting paid by
Russia.
another person or country. Yeah, that's why it's okay to bring Destiny on, to have like a challenging conversation. But if you know that I'm going to push really hard on something that you know
You're
is
not gonna do
indefensible,
it.
yeah, that will never, ever, ever happen. There's no scenario where you will ever submit yourself to that sort of examination because you know that it's bullshit. You know that you can't defend it. Yeah. So
Yeah. I'm going to get a nice camera. I'm going to come, I usually come like pretty just whatever I come on. But for your segment, I'll put in some effort and I'll try to be professional,
wow, thanks.
do what I
Okay.
can. Is that what you'd like, or would you want it to be more off the cuff?
No, I mean I'm filming it down in my studio, so yeah, bring your nice camera. Yeah.
What do you mean bring?
Or I mean like set up your nice camera. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Got it.
What's
Yeah,
going on
man.
in here?
Yo, Dan, what do
hanging
you
out.
think about this whole Dr. K thing?
What? What happened? Stop.
I'm joking. How you doing?
Basically, Dr. K said that he looked over the Dr. Disrespect stuff, and he said that he's keen, he's good to go. He didn't do anything wrong.
I say. Well, there you
Bro.
have it. I've moved on. It's a losing battle talking about that. The
your-
Sims, they're too strong.
The Dr. Disrespect Sims?
No, they are not strong. The Dr. K Sims are too strong.
What's
Because
the next discussion?
I'm not obsessed. Okay, don't we ban that type of fucking conversation? Like when we're trying to talk about something and you're like, oh, you're just obsessed. All right, well, my bad. I'm sorry that I wanted to discuss something.
No,
I'm
listen,
obsessed. My bad.
I'm part of the team that generally thinks that Dan is right.
Yeah.
And I know that there's a lot of Dan is wrongers in the chat or omegalores, but like I tend to think that you have pretty good takes. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. It comes from a lifetime of living out there on the streets, knowing things, doing stuff, etc. Yeah, I've lived next to streets my whole life, you could say, actually. I don't remember a time when I have not been near a street. That's just a fact. Or driveway.
And based.
I came in because I was curious. So you said you had a strategy meeting with Erudite, and I'm curious, what isn't going to work exactly?
The idea of having like truly challenging or adversarial conversations doesn't really, you can't actually do that because nobody in the political world actually believes the things that they say. That's why they aren't willing to defend any of their ideas. I think I got gaslit by my own audience and by the public, this idea that like, oh, debating is just fake and it doesn't prove anything and that's why people don't do it. I think the reality is I think they just know that a lot of their ideas are bullshit because at a certain point, like I can't reconcile how much people are willing to sacrifice to avoid challenging conversations because the viewership would be good, the gain in subs would be good, the like every single part about it, the notoriety, like everything would be so beneficial. But I see now the reason why is because they know that they would get exposed hard.
To be clear, was this for Bridges or for the new thing that we were talking about? Because if it's for Bridges, I don't know. I mean, I guess I have no comment. But if it's for the new thing, I completely disagree with you.
No, I'm talking about Bridges.
Why would you guys start being adversarial on Bridges after everything you've done? Isn't the whole idea not that? It's to be
no, the goal is to
build...
bring people, the goal is to bring people from, or originally, the goal is to bring people from very different political persuasions and then to be able to have, like, to show you can have a challenging conversation, build a bridge or whatever. But the thing that I've realized over the past several months is that nobody wants to engage on, like, core important ideas. It's only going to be on superficial bullshit.
Is that an admission that the Nick Fuentes conversation was a failure?
No, because my Fuentes conversations, I don't think were necessarily trying to persuade Fuentes. It was trying to like win over aspects of his audience and confront the arguments.
So you weren't trying to build a bridge with Fuentes. You were trying to build a bridge to the Groypers?
I mean, kind of. I mean, those two kind of work in tandem with each other. But yeah, I don't mind having adversarial relationships with other people. But like that breaks down because Fuentes was willing to engage, right? But the other guys aren't. Yeah. What?
So. Okay, so I'm curious. So what is I mean, just out of curiosity's sake then, so if this isn't working for Bridges, what is the new plan?
But what we've been doing, I think Bridges is working. It's just, that original intent is just not working. But like interviewing highly educated people in the field that have interesting conversations, it just gives me the ability to reach out to people that ordinarily wouldn't come on stream, but would still be fun to talk to.
Okay. So yeah, you guys haven't been adversarial so far as I know.
I never that was the original conception of Bridges.
So that's why I was confused. You're like, oh, this whole thing.
Sorry, hold on. You're confusing. When I say adversarial, I don't mean like bringing on for hardcore debates. I just mean bringing people on with meaningfully different like beliefs and then connecting with them while discussing those meaningfully different things. But people won't touch those core beliefs in a meaningful way. They'll never touch them. It can
Have
only
you ever had such a conversation with anybody on the right?
Not anybody with a career. Like very small people will, or smaller people will do it because they can gain notoriety, or not notoriety, they can gain fame from it, right? Like Fuentes, I just got a request last night to do another debate with Fuentes. Fuentes will do it because he needs the publicity. But if you've got an established career, then you'll stay as far away from those conversations as possible because you know you're full of shit.
Well, what about, like, remember we used to get politicians, not like big politicians, but hi, I'm running for a California State Senate seat 13 out of, the Western District. Like, they'll come on because they need anything.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Yeah, for very small people that need the platform, will do it. Yeah, but nobody with a career is what I'm saying. Yeah, nobody who's like already made it.
Well, I mean, some of those people could be big deals. I mean, like, there's a chance like they could win. They could be there. You know?
And then as soon as they win, they would never come on again. Yeah.
Well, I mean, as far as Bridges goes, maybe that's fine. Like, are you going to be planning on doing repeat stuff on Bridges with people?
Wait, I don't understand what we're...
You're saying they're never going to come back on again on
But I'm
Bridges.
saying, to restate my thesis, people who have gathered an audience or who are successful in a given field politically will never have their political beliefs, like, challenged in a substantive way. That will never happen. That's what I'm saying. They intentionally avoid it.
I'm thinking... maybe for Bridges, I don't think that's true for other stuff. I think you could. So, give me an example of someone that you think wouldn't come on.
Tim Pool or Persobic or whatever. These are people that will never talk to me again.
Okay, that's probably because you already kind of did a quasi version of this where you like molested both of them, right? So yeah.
No. My appearances with Pool were very gentle and soft. Anybody with the Daily Wire would also fall under this. Candace Owens, Jordan Peterson, Ben Shapiro. Yeah.
I don't think the Candace Owen things was very soft. Like, didn't you leave here with both of you guys shit talking each other?
Nope.
That was the
We
opposite
left
of
totally fine. Her manager, I've got Mitchell. I've got his text on my phone saying, "Oh, that was so much fun. If you guys are ever in if you're ever in whatever state she's in, drop by and we'll do another show."
So
Candace
what
was the one that
changed
started-
day 2?
Candace started shit talking me that night when she went to Fresh and Fit. There's
Okay.
just What do you mean?
Okay, so it sounds like once you get these people on, regardless of if you're fucking Kid Gloves or not Kid Gloves, they're just they do their one show because their audience has been like, go on Destiny show, and they've done it, and everyone's nice in person and everything, and they've done it, and then they can be like, man, talking with that cuck, that was something else. Can't be doing that again, and they feel like they've satisfied it. So you might as well not be sensitive and soft. Like if you want, I mean, I'm saying there's probably a point of being understanding, like the stuff you've done on Bridges is good, but those aren't those people.
Yes, this is the position I've arrived at. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's no point in doing. Now, I don't like the first convo. I don't like the fact that Ben or Jordan Peterson or Michael Knowles or Candace Owens can say, "Oh yeah, I had a debate with Destiny or I chatted with Destiny." And now it feels like shit. It's like, no, you didn't. I was being like a fucking kid the entire time so that you wouldn't.
Yeah.
Freak
So
the fuck out.
the idea is a new show, okay, that you do that doesn't interfere or scare people away from Come On Bridges, which is not that. It's like the whole point of this is that you want chatters in other communities fucking screaming at their creator, go on this show, show.
There's no way to foster that because the people on these other programs intentionally commit to rhetoric to devalue the oppositional opinion so that it's not somebody who's presenting an authentic challenge. It's just a compromised person who's just lying in bad faith anyway.
I think these people would still come on and do a show. I think that a lot of them have something to prove, at least for the first time.
They have nothing to prove. No.
Ooh.
Okay. I mean, I disagree. What do you think,
Dan?
Disco? Who would come on? Well, I mean, we have to have an example of people that he hasn't talked to before.
Dave Rubin dodges me consistently and has continued to dodge me consistently.
That guy blocked me.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, you're talking about like some very large people, like maybe let's use
Rubin
like
is not.
streamer. Let's use streamers as an example, or
Okay, who's the conservative streamer that we think will come on to Stevens?
well, you could obviously get someone that's smaller, like one of the Rob Noors or one of those guys.
You're restating
Those
what
guys
I
will-
said earlier. Yeah, so if they're small enough and desperate enough for the attention, of course they'll come on. Yes.
Okay, larger people who would come on. I think that you could get someone in Scandal. So like maybe someone like Moist Critical after he did that thing with
He's not conservative, is he?
No.
it's not the point that he's a conservative, right? It's that he was in a state of chaos, so he might be in a position where he'd be like, okay, I need to go on and explain this and understand and show what happened.
I'm talking about challenging like political people on like core substantive political beliefs.
Bring on Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
It proves Dan's point.
Okay, so political people. So you don't think that
There's no
only
conservative who's my size or one level higher or one or two levels lower that would come on and chat with me. It will never happen unless they're totally fucking retarded and don't know who I am. It'll never happen.
you have talked to these people before, just not on your own show.
In the
right?
past, I have, but only when I've been like agreeing to play very nicely. But if I want to do substantive challenges, they won't do it.
Lauren Southern.
How big is her the largest content that she was producing just got removed from the internet. So
But she would come on and talk to you.
yeah, but because her brand has like been in remission for a long time, right? Of course she would, but that's because
I kind of get to Dan's point a little bit for kind of these middling, big but big conservative.
Hold on. I need to know real quick if you're trolling or not, because if you're not trolling, I
What
need to
about-
just
what
I need to
about the
obliterate. Wait,
Blaze-
stop! I need to know if Pisco was just trolling with that answer, or if I need to obliterate this point.
I don't think
was
you
being
can obliterate. And
Were
I'm
you
serious,
trolling
though.
Pisco, or was that a
He
serious?
said he's not.
I was being serious.
Okay, yes. So Lauren Southern's like overall media relevancy right now is very, 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 very low. So if she would be willing to talk to me, it would be a combination of two things. One is that we have a friendly rapport, and two is because her media presence is so low that she only has anything to gain from that conversation, right?
Okay, so that would get to your underlying point, which is desperation.
Sure, I guess,
You're
yeah.
saying
Or
this
that
dude only
there's like
talks to
such
you
a
for
huge
desperation
Yeah,
or-
I could swim through channels of conservative commentators who have less than 100,000 subs on YouTube and probably find people to debate. But
What about Glenn Beck? You think you could talk with
no,
him?
never.
No way. No
Glenn
way.
Beck, Charlie Kirk, Dave Rubin, the entirety of the Daily Wire, Tim Pool, anybody in his orbit, none of these conservatives will ever, ever, ever have a challenging conversation. It's the same on the left too, by the way. They're just harder to.
Would Prager
Actually,
ever
I
have
don't
a
know if it's the
rematch with
same.
you?
I don't
Wait, you
know.
talked to Prager.
I did.
Oh, good
But,
example, Josiah.
I did talk to Prager. Pacman
And you
set that
killed
up.
him.
Yeah, I would be surprised if Prager ever talked to me again.
Okay, maybe another example would be people that aren't necessarily political, like in nature, but people that are very political on Twitter. So, for instance, any one of these like tech douchebags who is like super supporting fucking Elon Musk.
Vivek, yeah.
Yeah,
Vivek could probably
well,
debate you.
Well, I don't know about that, but like maybe like Kim.com, huge fucking Elon dick sucker going through the courts right now, or like who basically you just have to like who are the fucking dick suckers every time Elon posts something. Any of these guys, David Sachs, right? Maybe he would.
I was thinking David Sachs. Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah,
I
so-
might be able to grab people like that. I mean, that's possible, yeah. But I
I
mean,
mean,
this
these
isn't
people
really.
are hugely influential.
I mean,
no?
yeah, but they're not gonna. But they're retarded. They're not gonna know anything. Like they're gonna come on and they're just gonna say like, "Oh, I don't know any. I haven't heard about that. Oh, that's interesting."
Yeah,
And then
great. And you fucking destroy them, and then you make your side look better.
Let's get Sachs on the podcast.
Right. And there's a bunch of those guys that are in that all-in podcast. For instance, there's I think it's Jason Calacanis. You have Shamath. I don't even know how to say his last name. Like, there's a few of these people, but there's a lot of people that aren't politicians first and foremost that have large followings that are very confident. And I'm like, I'm very successful in my niche, and I'm all in on Trump or something. And I feel like all of these people are easy targets for you to fucking dominate, and all of them are not going to do a ton of research on you, and you're gonna and their audience to be like, hey, go on Destiny's show and talk to him if you're feeling so strong about it, or you do it. He has 30,000 people live right now. Go on. And I think like a lot of them are so cocky and confident that they'll do it just because they've had success in other parts of their lives. So maybe that's where you look instead of like looking directly at a let me get Glenn Beck. It's let me get Kim.com.
Sure, that's possible.
But the Steven Crowders will never debate Steven.
Yeah,
That's
the
fine.
fact that it's not fine. That's the part. I could chew through like 20 huge tech bros that are fucking retarded, but I think the idea that the political media sphere is so adverse to being challenged because they know that they're fucking full of shit and they're lying. I think that's a huge fucking problem that has somehow been obfuscated to the public that consumes the media.
I mean, maybe you're looking at this wrong. Those people aren't the ones that you like. They're never changing. You're never changing Dave Rubin or any of these guys.
It's not about changing them. It's about the fact that they put themselves out there as people that feel strongly and can support their political opinions, and their audiences seem to believe that authentically, and it's absolutely not true.
Okay, that's fine. But here's the real question at the end of the day. Do we care about impact? Like, do you care about spreading the good word of the omni-liberal and changing minds?
Yeah, what you're saying isn't bad strategy for expansion of like debates, which is not fundamentally. It's a totally different conversation. That's not what I'm talking about. The question wasn't like, oh, is there any large figure that I could debate? That wasn't the question, or that wasn't the topic. The topic is just about how the entire media space is very insulated because they don't want to be challenged in their political opinions because they're either bought and paid for by somebody else or a foreign country or their own audience, or they're full of shit and they're grifting and they know it.
You think that applies equally to people on the left as well?
Yeah, some of them, yeah, probably, yeah.
What about like a Bill Maher? Do you think he's full of shit? That's like the dirtbag.
I think Bill Maher is one of the
leftist.
people that's probably authentic. I think he's a little dumb sometimes, but I think Bill Maher is probably authentic. He's very rare, though.
Okay. What about Sam Seder?
Sam is one of the only people I think who will debate almost anybody. I respect Sam a lot for that, even though we disagree a ton on shit. But Sam Seder seems like he will debate anybody, yeah.
Okay, so what about Emma Vigeland now that she's
No,
doing
she's
her
an
own
idiot,
thing?
and she wouldn't. She will avoid people because she knows she's an idiot. She thinks that every single person in Africa is black, like an African American rapper. She's one of the stupidest people that on YouTube.
Okay, so like another example of this would be like Bree, right? So probably not going to talk to you, right? But for good reason, because there's so many like ways that you can destroy like completely if she even steps remotely out of line. It's like, oh, hey, where's Virgil? Right? That's the end of that thing. Or like, hey, what'd you say on October 7th? That's the end of that thing, right? Like these people fundamentally can never talk to you because it would be an existential threat to their fucking career if they did. Like, yeah, no shit. But
Well,
the
but
other ones,
it's not, you say that like no shit, but the problem is most of the audience doesn't recognize it. That's the problem.
Yeah, so and the way you reach the rest of the audiences is by doing a roundabout by them and going after the other creators that their viewers do watch, that are willing to go and do it, right? If you can't go direct to the source, we have to go not to the source. We go around it. We we take the water downstream a little bit, but that has the effects of being almost more effective, right? If you're starting to peel off their audience with other creators that you're doing it, right? There's a certain amount of people that, for instance, will watch Bree that are going to watch 10 other creators that will talk with you. And if you talk with those 10 other creators and you're very convincing and compelling.
I'm aware. I already do this. Yeah. So I just debated the Jesse on Fire guy. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll take any like smaller people that are a level below or 2 or 3 levels below me. Yeah, I'll do it. I already do this. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's effective shit to do. But we have to, and this is me selling myself a little bit here on our little adjudicated show, it has to be compelling and it has to be entertaining. I think one of the problems with a lot of this content that you want to do is you want to have you want to make a difference. Obviously, of course, want to make a difference. You want to change policy for the better. It's not your primary goal, or maybe it is. I have no fucking idea. But you want the world to be a better place fundamentally, and the ends justify the means. If we can get there with fucking fart jokes and dressing up like a judge with a fake wig and stuff like that, and be 10 times more effective than if we were like super serious all the time and not do that, you owe it to yourself to do that and to try and go down those directions.
Yeah.
If you care about that. Yeah.
Or you just make Twitter Spaces every single week.
But those are
call up individual creators.
Yeah, I wonder if doing that, like, and bullying people in those spaces will eventually draw if they get like sucked into them. But the problem is there's like a crowd on like Twitter Spaces, and it feels like the Discord space is a little where it's the same retards that say the same retarded shit over and over again. But we should do that, Pisco.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab a Sorlin. Hold on 1 second.
Dude, every week.
I like it now. Even I have people like Huff Daddy saying entertaining to me is not entertaining to your audience. Like, I think I have a pretty good idea of what's entertaining and what isn't.
You're a content man. You've always
exactly. I don't know. And you know what it is? The people that typically will say this, like, oh, this is not entertaining. Can we get back to the fucking reviewing of the docket? Thank you. You're interrupting my legal review. God, I hate this guy. It's like, all right.
Destiny would play those arpeggios on the piano, and he would always go back to them. And,
Good one. True.
Dude, that was funny. See, Dan's the content man. But I do believe, Steven, that we should do a weekly Twitter space. People can prepare for it. People will know about it. It's something that happens, and it's just an open invitation. And it's every week at a certain time, separate and apart from what we're doing with the news.
Sure.
I think also you doing that from the start with you and Pisco, I think you guys doing that, not with kid gloves from day one, sets a good expectation of what to expect. And it actually has a positive effect. It's almost like a Veblen good a little bit, right? It's expensive and dangerous, so people come on, as opposed to it being like Destiny's going to come on here and like do like weak soy sauce type of, listen, let me explain this to you because you may not know. Less of that, more of like, hey, so you're a fucking retard, right? Yeah, got it. You don't know any of this stuff. Okay, you can just stop talking. I'll just tell you how this is because you're obviously too fucking stupid to know. Like, that's what you want. That's how you move waves. And I think if you guys do that from day one, it's going to be hugely successful and have more positive impact also. I think maybe you're worried that if you're like that,
I'm not worried about anything. To be clear, none of this is about like having a positive impact or maximizing reach. I was just making a very particular and specific observation that political content.
Everyone
creators,
agrees with you, Steven. Yes.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So I know all these other things. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
He knows everything. And I'll organize it, Steven. You just give me a time. I'll send you times. I'll make it work. All right. And you can just bring your little audience over and have some fun.
Sounds good.
All right, bro. Hey, guys. I'll let Josiah and Lycan say what they're going to say. But
I was just curious if you guys were going to live stream the debate on Tuesday or if there's like any prohibitions against that.
I'm going to live stream with the Silly Serious. So people who want to see our reactions can watch it live on my accounts. But you don't have to. You can watch Steven too.
Are you going to you're going to do it on Twitch and YouTube and everything? Like, is there a risk of like your channel being nuked for doing that?
Oh, yes. But Twitter is a wild, wild west. And I believe that our commentary is fair use. And so I do believe it's legal. for me to do it, not for all of you, because I do believe that I'm giving transformative content. I do believe it's in the news. I think all, I just want to be clear. I believe that what I'm doing is legal, but in the interest of protecting my channel from frivolous claims, I think I'll be doing it on Kick and on.
I think if you're going to do commentary with her, you let her do the commentary and you just shut the fuck up and be eye candy. That's it.
What the fudge is
Exactly.
your problem?
I have a lot of problems with you, mostly about your Supreme Court takes.
Wait a second. You understand that Steven just came out in favor of an expansion of the Supreme Court.
Not really, to be clear, but
Wait, you did, didn't you?
the main disagreement we had before
threat.
was whether or not expanding the Supreme Court would delegitimize the Supreme Court. And now I've been brought over to saying maybe expanding the Supreme Court wouldn't be bad as a threat because it's already delegitimized. So, I mean...
Yeah, Pisco, way to blow your load and potentially scare him. Don't spook him.
Okay,
Just let him make his way over to the rest of us.
He actually is very oppositional. Like, you can't be like, he changed his mind about something. He has to come to that own conclusion. Because
I
if
don't
I
care
say,
how
like,
he gets
"Oh,
there.
I
As
changed
long as
my
he gets there, I
mind,"
don't give a shit.
Okay, but what about my takes that you disagree with, Josiah? I mean, like, I feel like
Just saying. You fight me all the time when I criticize the Supreme Court. You're always the one defending Alito and Clarence Thomas, your two favorite justices.
Whoa.
Quote.
Okay, stop. You want to impeach Alito because of the flag thing. You want to impeach Alito because of the flags.
Excuse me. I just said that I thought that he violated federal, number one, federal law, arguably, and number two, the Supreme Court's own code of conduct by, engaging in behaviors that, violated impartiality. You're supposed to have the appearance of impartiality.
Also, yeah, I'm sorry. If you're going to fucking bitch and moan and cry all day about how the Supreme Court's legitimacy is being undermined and write all these bullshit ass words, then at the very least your personal conduct should represent that you're worried about the legitimacy of the court. And perception is incredibly important, so...
100%. Exactly. Yeah, you
believe that Alito's wife is the chattel of Mr. Samuel Alito, and you believe that anything that she does is transferable to Samuel Alito. I find that sexist.
Wait. Where was this flag being flown?
It was at his house.
Hold on. Whose house? Do they both live there?
It's the joint ownership of property. They jointly own the
jointly
home.
owner. Oh, joint ownership means they would both be responsible for what's being displayed there?
I don't know about that. They have equal rights, and the flag did come down, and maybe he thought, hey, I'll try to convince her instead of having a physical fight over the flag.
This is Pisco trolling, by the way, yeah.
Oh, it's not trolling. Wait, what about this is trolling?
Oh, so if Alito's wife wanted to fly flags saying, not my president, talking about Joe Biden, and, president should have infinite immunity, flags with Trump, 1 million flags all over the house, you think that'd be fine? He's like, well, it could just be Alito's wife flying the flags.
I think that Samuel Alito had a responsibility to take down the flag in due course, or to divorce his wife if she wouldn't do that, or to go live somewhere else.
Wait, hold on. Why can't a husband and a wife just have a joint understanding of the importance of both of their careers and that they probably should limit their behavior accordingly?
You think that the wife, Mrs. Alito, should be not allowed to do political things?
Do you want to phrase it in the most fucking retarded way possible? Is that how we're going to do the conversation? Do you think that it's unreasonable that a husband and a wife would be mindful of each other's reputations in a public setting, especially if
I think that's reasonable. But
yes. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Then yes.
Do you think that he agrees with the flag, and that's the reason it was up in the first place?
Don't know about that.
I mean, I think really that's the bigger question. That's the most obvious answer here of this whole. Bro, if you're living with someone, imagine I come to my home and I fucking step outside and there's a big fucking flag for some crazy shit. I'm gonna be like, well, that's my wife. She's got a right to do what she is. She is her own person.
Yeah, I just can't. It's what an unbelievably disrespectful thing to do. Imagine your wife is the head of the fucking medical board of some bullshit, and you're publicly known as her husband, and you just had to go online and talk about anti-vax stuff all day. How insanely disrespectful. Or you can even flip it. Imagine you've got a wife who's the head of the anti-vax movement or some shit, and as the husband, you just had to go online and talk about how cool vaccines are all day and contradict her. You're why would you be so oppositional in a marriage like that? You're destroying your partner.
Because
Steven's
she's
right.
her own person. She's her own person. She's allowed.
No, you're not. What do you mean? They're married. They're one. It's a union. What are you talking about? They have a joint.
That sexist. I find that
it
wrong.
has nothing to do with being sexist. It has to do with what marriage. Ideally, I mean, unless you're just doing it because whatever you live together, which is fine. Listen, I'm more supportive of that position. But for generally, when people are married, your
doctrine of coverture.
Good one.
When most people are married,
it's not a joint.
They typically are going to be on the same page. on almost everything. Like, it's pretty rare that a husband and a wife are going to fundamentally disagree on something, on anything.
I mean, they could
Really.
disagree, but even if they do,
On minor shit.
they could. No, husbands and wives can be in opposition
They
to things.
never disagree
but I'm
on
saying
major
that you should. If the reputation, I'm sorry, I'll make a stronger statement on this. If the reputation of your partner isn't of any concern to you, then you should be divorced. You shouldn't even be married to the person. I can't. Unless your partner like
Profoundly
explicitly
inconsiderate.
Yeah, more than that, it's disrespectful to the marriage and the relationship and to your partner.
It was a momentary thing where they put up the flag.
Momentary.
for-
How many weeks was that flag up again?
Yeah, because they both agreed with it. That's why. There's no
You
way
think that-
around it.
You don't think that maybe she was upset
Nope.
at a certain thing?
Nope, they both agreed with it.
So anything that your wife does,
That I leave
Why are you
up-
reducing that? He's
fucking
trolling. He
A.
goes trolling. He's trolling. He's
Oh,
trolling. It's
yeah.
a troll.
I'm not
It's a troll.
trolling.
Then
I think
you're slightly
Anytime,
retarded.
anytime you can always tell when somebody in a debate. Anytime they do is like, oh wait, so you're saying you can't stab your wife with a knife? Are you saying you could never touch her with anything then ever? Like anytime there's somebody makes a statement like that, you always know.
All right,
that
I'm going to go super hard on you. All right, so you have a flag that's put up in response to an ongoing dispute between neighbors, and Sam Alito's wife is very, very, very upset. And she puts up the flag. She claims out of duress because of what the neighbors are saying and they're protesting them, whatever. Samuel Alito says, please take it down, and just instead of immediately going and hoisting the flag down, because the wife is just not listening, he talks it out, and it takes a few days, and then it comes down. Isn't that a fine approach as opposed to having a fight?
I would say probably
the
grounds for
streets?
divorce. That'd be my guess. That if your
I
partner
think-
is so disrespectful towards you that they're willing to jeopardize the entirety of the institution of the job that you inhabit, one of the most prestigious jobs, the most prestigious job, by the way, as a judge, arguably in the entire world, that yeah, if your partner is willing to threaten that because of a fight with a neighbor, yeah, you probably are like, okay, well, this person just isn't for me. And then you ditch the relationship because they're disrespectful to the relationship, to your reputation, and to you as a person. It's insane.
So you would file for divorce instead of just like, all right, let's work it out and find a solution in the next few days.
Why
and
would
we'll
you want to
figure it out.
work? Why, the person's not. It's not a partnership to them. It's they're
Maybe
just.
it was a momentary thing of things. You know,
Wait,
neighbors
hold
piss
on.
each other off.
What is the Occam's razor of this situation in your mind?
I think that Sam Alito is conservative. Sam Alito does support Trump, but I don't think that Sam Alito wanted those flags up.
Okay, that's the Occam's
Based on
razor
cur-
to you.
based on
That's the most likely explanation to you is usually the correct one. So the most likely explanation is
That he probably didn't want that flag up, and the proof is in the pudding. They took it down, right?
How many weeks?
okay. You're
What if she was flying a
why did it
Nazi?
come
wait, wait.
down?
What if
Why
she
did it
was,
come
If she
down?
was flying a Nazi flag, would that be okay?
okay as to why it came down
No?
because
Why do you
public-
do this? So Steven just went after me, being like, "Oh, I can't believe you use hypotheticals that are so detached."
No,
I think
my
that-
issue wasn't doing a hypothetical that was so detached. My issue is that you were watering down the issue so much as to make your hypothetical not relevant, right? If I say you shouldn't be allowed to punch somebody in class just because they piss you off, and your retort is, "Oh wow, so if somebody's ever made you mad ever, you're not allowed to even touch them ever." You've destroyed that hypothetical doesn't fit, right? You're saying here that somebody should be able to fly whatever the fuck flag they want, and it should have no bearing on you because maybe you disagree with it, and then you can
I
have a
would treat
conversation
the
and take it
Nazi
down.
flag different. I would treat the Nazi flag different than the upside down flag. I do think that the Nazi flag, you have to find a way to take it down right away. But I do treat that differently than the upside down flag.
Wait,
You
but why?
might
What if
not.
it's his wife's own views? They shouldn't represent Alito's views at all, right?
I'm not saying they shouldn't represent Alito's views. What I'm saying is a little bit of grace to give time for the flag to come down.
And why would you give more grace? Do you think it's just more egregious for the Nazi flag than the whatever Trump flag? Whatever the fuck,
I think
or
that
the-
you would agree with that. So suppose that Sonia Sotomayor's, let's say that she has a significant other. I think she's single, but assume that she has a significant other, and that person puts up a pride flag. You think that should come down?
it depends
I
on
would
the
say yes.
backlash.
Yes.
Double standards. Where are my
I
conservatives?
just said
YouTube
yes.
chat.
I just said
Give me
yes.
the
Are you
lame
okay that I have
answer.
to think about my fucking answer for a second? Yeah, I would say yes.
Okay, but if he didn't take it down for 2 days because he really wanted to support for Pride Month, would you be like, divorce Ellie?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Who's putting what
crazy.
flag up?
Owned.
You're not. Okay. Okay, never mind.
Wait,
He's
wait,
trolling.
no,
He's
keep
trolling.
going.
He's
I'm not
trolling.
trolling.
He's trolling. He's trolling. You're
No,
trolling.
I'm not
You're
trolling.
You're trolling.
Say it. Say what you were going to say.
Who's putting the
listen.
flag up?
Miss Alito put it up.
No. For the Sotomayor thing, was she the one putting
He
it
put it
up?
up.
Are you saying
Miss
that her
Sotomayor.
if her husband puts it up?
Yes.
Yes. If her husband puts it up, then yes, it would be the same situation, and all the same things would apply in the Alito situation. I would say yes.
Yeah, but he's like, I really want to support the gays. I want to do that. It's really important to me.
So
And
they
she-
both do?
What's that? No.
They
And and Sonia Sotomayor, Justice Sotomayor says, we have to cut it down. We have to get it down. And he's like very upset because there's anti-gay people on the other side of
No,
the street.
they can do it if they want in their own house, with their own name, because they would get divorced.
Yeah.
I
No,
think.
but
Okay.
what?
I'm just. It's so wild to me. Pisco.
What?
It's not. Pisco doesn't
So
believe
I-
any of this. He is
That I'm
trolling. Just to be
consistent-
clear,
that I'm
Pisco is
No,
trolling.
you're
He is
not.
trolling.
No, here's the problem: is you know what you remind me of. Maybe I haven't been here for a lot of these debates, so I'm new to this. But you remind me of doing things where it's almost like talking with Rem a little bit, in that you have to be
Oh, no.
so
Oh, no.
you have to be so completely consistent so as to throw out logic and reality. These are married people. Okay, married people do not do things like this unless they hate each other. The
Yeah,
most
you're
likely
you're backstabbing your partner.
Bro,
Yeah,
this
the most-
happens
stop,
all the
stop.
time.
Okay, you're wrong. The most likely explanation here is that both of them sat down and was like, you know what we can do to piss off these fucking retards? Let's put out a fucking upside down flag. He's like, yeah, fuck it. Let's do it. Like, that's what happened. That is absolutely the case. And instead of you doing that, you look for, because you're an attorney, I assume, I hope, you're looking for, well, that doesn't matter because one person has a current state of doing it. It should not affect on the other person. And while fundamentally that is true, in practice, in reality, as the Occam's razor, that's not reality. Okay? In reality, married
You're
couples
saying
don't do things
nothing.
to no
Married
married
couples-
couples don't do things to sabotage each other. Okay?
Hang on a second. So this putting up a flag, I think we all agree that was inappropriate given that it's a joint home that both use and occupy.
It's not inappropriate if they both agreed with doing it. Then it was a statement that they both chose to make, and I agree that I think that's the most likely outcome is that they both did it because they wanted to do it.
Yeah,
why
which
did
is
it
why
take
I was
down?
saying when you asked me about the Sotomayor thing, I was like, that's why I asked who hung the flag. Because if Sotomayor wants to signal that she supports gay rights or whatever, and that's how she rules, well, fine, whatever, fuck. But like that's how people are going to read it, of
Whatever?
course.
That's inappropriate. It would be inappropriate to put up a. Or do you think it would be inappropriate?
Wait, why
to
would
put
it be
up an
inappropriate if that accurately represents her views?
for the same reason that it would be inappropriate for Samuel Alito to put up a upside down flag signaling that he agrees with Stop the Steal movement. Don't you agree that would be inappropriate?
That he agrees with the Stop the Steal movement. I
Yeah,
think
he-
these two, one, I think these things are meaningfully different because I think that there are legal foundations for like equal protections for things like gay and trans stuff or whatever the fuck, right? So I think they're meaningfully different. But also, two, I don't think that the issue we're arguing about here is whether or not the flag is even appropriate or inappropriate. That's not the subject of what we're arguing about. What we're arguing about is it okay for Alito's wife to put up something that ostensibly Alito might not agree with? That's what we're arguing about in substance here. Does that flag represent both of them? And was the wife
I'm going to
fucking over-
own you in the Marketplace of Ideas
Oh,
right now.
boy.
I'm just going to
Okay.
own you.
Go ahead.
So
Can't wait
would
for
you
this
have a
one.
problem if Samuel Alito says, yeah, I hung up that flag because Stop the Steal? You would have a problem with that.
I might, but now it's a different problem we're talking about. It's a different thing.
It would be worse. It would be way worse, wouldn't it?
It's not a matter of it being better or worse. It would be a different conversation. It's not. It would be. Do you agree that it's a different subject?
No.
Hold on. Me saying that if I show up and I've got a Nazi sticker on my car and I say I put that there because I support the Nazis, do you agree that you would have a different issue than if I showed up with a Nazi sticker on my car and say, oh, my wife put it there and I just didn't take it off?
I would have a different issue.
Yes,
but
thank
it all,
you.
It
Yes,
all pertains.
thank you.
It all
Owned,
pertains.
owned,
it all-
destroyed.
It all. It all pertains to the same thing, which is, does this person have this view and are they displaying it publicly? That's the issue.
Does this
Do you-
person
do you
what?
think-
Say that again.
Does this person have this view and are they displaying it publicly in a way that it would undermine the integrity of the court?
Oh, yes,
That's what
I
we
agree.
ultimately
Yeah,
care about.
well,
If we
that
don't-
is an issue. Yes.
Okay, that I think is the main issue. Is to what extent did Samuel Alito?
Well, wait, you
Alito
can
have
say
a
that's the
role?
main issue. That's fine, but that's not what we were discussing in here. We were talking about whether or not the wife was backstabbing Alito if he didn't have those views and she put it up with him not wanting it up. That's what we were discussing in here.
Our debate was about backstabbing.
Yes. What do you mean? We were just talking about marriage and how if the wife was like fucking over the husband. That's why you were saying, well, maybe they just disagreed and they took it down after 3 days. Yes.
Okay, I can agree with you that it's a little backstabby to do that, but I don't know that it would destroy the marriage to have a few days of a little, she was out of her mind kind
Do
of
you think
deal.
it's more likely that he agreed with it and signed on? Like, hey, you know what? You
No,
should
I-
fucking do
I
this.
don't.
This would be really like funny, and then I can just blame you on it
Well-
because you're pretty outspoken. And fuck him.
I'm
Fuck
distinguishing
these
two things
Democrats.
there. On the one hand, do I think that he agrees with MAGA and Trump? That I think it's more likely than not that he agrees with Trump and all that stuff. But does he agree with putting up the flag? I think the answer is no because he took it down.
Okay, here's a question. What if Jack Smith's case gets back to the Supreme Court and they presumptive immunity 5-4. Okay, Amy sides of the liberals, but 5-4 presumptive immunity is given to 80% of the things. The case is tossed, and now Alito's flag outside of his house is being played, and now protesters show up, they burn the house down just because of that flag. Do you think that he would have a right to say, okay, well, fuck you, wife, I'm divorcing you now? Do you think she's fucked up majorly now, or?
Yes.
So then it's just an outcome-oriented thing?
No. Wait, sorry. Maybe I didn't understand your hypothetical. If there was a burned down house because of the same conduct, would it change my mind about whether it's a grounds for divorce?
Yeah.
Maybe not. But I think personally that it's something that a relationship could get through.
Well,
There are big conflicts within relationships on
my God.
fundamental issues.
No.
You don't agree?
I understand all that thing. I think here's a good question to ask.
Well, no, Pisco already admitted that he was wrong because he's saying you could get through it, meaning it would be a severe transgression and it would have to be something to get through.
It's a transgression. It's
Okay.
a severe transgression.
That's fine. Okay.
So you, Mr. Peace,
Yeah.
you think that this flag went up and Samuel Alito was like, hey, what the fuck? You can't do that. And she was like, oh, let's
I
talk
think that's
about.
the most likely thing that happened.
Oh, okay.
You don't agree?
Well, that's taught me something about you that I now know that I didn't know before.
Wow.
So and remember, we're not talking as an attorney here. You genuinely believe that went up and that he was not in line with that. He was distraught that
With
that
the
went up.
flag going up,
Yeah.
I tend to believe that he probably did not.
Don't use weasel words.
I believe that I'm saying, I don't know for sure, but my intuition is that he probably did not want the flag to go up.
Because he disagreed with the substance or the potential reputational costs.
Because of the reputational cost of the court.
Fair.
And yeah, that's
Well, what about, you don't think it's more likely that they were like, hey, listen, if we catch shit for this, I'll just blame it on you. It'll be fine. And then we'll take it down for a little bit. But we got our point across. You don't think that's a very...
That's possible. You're going to have to prove that's more
Okay.
likely than the other thing.
Well, I'm positing that it's more likely that
You're
is probably
positing. What does that mean? You're positing it. Does that
I'm
mean
saying
you're proving it?
I say that in a marriage, that would be something that would happen 90% of the time over an adversarial, I'm going to go put a Nazi flag outside, or I'm going to go put a all doctors are bastard sign out front of my house right now, and we're going to argue about it and leave it up for 3 days. I think...
So you think it's more likely?
I think that what you're saying is highly unlikely,
His own family.
and what I'm
They
saying
have come
is the
forward
most
and they
likely.
have told the American people the truth. Let me
Oh
ask
shit! I'm
you-
sorry, I forgot you could do this. Keep going. My bad.
No. If you're
I
done
think
with this
it's,
and you don't care anymore and you want to move
No,
on,
I'm just looking
Sounds
for.
like he doesn't care anymore.
No, I do. Go ahead, keep going.
I think that there are circumstances under which people can do.
I understand.
very-
I'm not disagreeing. No one's disagreeing with you.
Okay.
It's not about circumstances.
What's more
It's-
likely between the two outcomes is that
Yeah,
they conspire together, and be like, let's make a little quick signal.
I want to understand something about you.
Yeah.
What's the more likely thing that happened in this situation?
I think
And
it's more
let's-
likely.
Let's give it out of 100% chance.
Yeah.
So you could say like there's a 5% chance this is the case, and there's a
I think it's
95%
I
chance
think
this
there's
is
an
the case.
85% chance that Alito genuinely didn't want the flag to go up. 85.
Okay. Thank you. I'm glad that you have answered that question. And I now know something about you. Unless
What
you're
do
trolling,
what do you know about me?
that you're retarded.
Oh.
Wait, so you think it's an 85% chance or whatever, 100% chance? What percentage do you put on the conspiracy theory where, yeah, let's put up this flag and not tell anyone until years later just to send a little secret signal to the Proud Boys? That's your belief, right?
My belief is that they put it up knowing they're like, okay, let's put this shit is fucking bullshit. These fucking.
Well,
Democrats.
answer the question. Stop.
I'm trying to
weaseling.
answer it. I'm definitely not weaseling. I'm answering your question. It's just I'm not answering it yes or no, but you didn't answer mine yes or no either.
Yeah.
Okay. I think what happened is that they were both incredibly displeased with the current political climate, and they're like, can we do this? Can we get away with this? And she was like, yeah, fuck it. Let's do it. Fuck these guys. The fuck are they going to do? Well, I can't be impeached. If it gets too hot, I'll just say you did it, and then we'll remove it a little bit. I think that's...
More likely? 95?
I would put that at probably... if the outcome is that they're having, like, huge fights, I would say 90% the chance of it being the case.
90%.
Yeah, and then you know what? It's not like the 10% is your options. Like there's another like 5% in there for something else I haven't considered, and then there's like a 3% in there for something else I haven't considered, and
I'm
then
at
maybe
2. I'm
there's
at 1.
and then there's like a 1.5 maybe that what you're saying is true. Okay, because what you're saying is so far outside the realm of what any normal married couple would do. It's just so fucking wild. I don't even know how to.
So you literally think Alito is lying to Congress, and he should be impeached and removed for the flag thing?
What did he say to Congress?
He said that my wife put it up without my permission. I tried to get it down and took some days to get it down.
Wait. When did he? It took him day. Damn, is his wife like a warrior? Was she guarding it with sword and shield?
No, because
I
people
think that he's
out.
he's an attorney, and I think he probably. I would have to hear exactly what he said, but my wife put it up without my permission. That sounds aggressive. You know what? My wife got out of bed today without my permission. I didn't grant her permission to do it.
Wait, what did he say in front of the?
Meaningless
What did he say in front of Congress? Also, fuck me. I wish I would have read more of the story. Alito should have been impeached for this. I didn't realize how egregious
What are
this
you
was.
talking? You guys are going crazy.
Alito should have been
Anything I
impeached
say,
for this.
you go opposite.
On January 17th, he was flying this out. I thought this was some shit that happened like in 2023. I didn't realize this was happening right after everything. What the fuck? Wait, this is wild. How can you ever cry about the legitimacy of the Supreme Court when you're literally one of the 9 justices that are deciding election fraud cases, and you're flying a Stop the Steal symbol outside your fucking house before the new president is coming? This is unhinged.
Guys, read
Hold
the
on.
letter. Okay, I sent you
also,
a letter,
Dan is
Steven.
100% correct. Wait, what the fuck? Do you think that his wife
up the
just put
letter.
this up and Alito's like, oh, who the fuck knows? Oh.
Put up the letter. I just sent it to you. This is from Alito to senators. What have you done, Josiah?
I feel like you're also
radicalized.
You're also like.
Oh,
I'm
wait, hold on.
questioning
Also,
your-
hold on. 1 second, Dan. Sneeko did a
Yeah.
tricky on you. Okay, hold on. So this wasn't like testifying in front of fucking Congress and bullshit or whatever. This was just a letter that Alito wrote.
Yes, I said he lied to Congress.
Well, when you say lied to Congress, you're making it sound like there was a whole ass like a
No,
like a
no, I
subpoena
didn't tell him
deposition
that.
or whatever. But this was just a fucking letter that he wrote to some fucking some cuck bullshit. Okay, just to be clear. All right.
If he consciously lied to these people, like a malicious lie, I would say he should be impeached and removed.
How the fuck are you
let's-
going to prove that his wife is actually? Wait, isn't it? Your wife doesn't even have to testify.
Read
against
it.
you,
Read
no?
the letter out loud in your voice.
This is in response to your letter of May 23rd to the Chief Justice requesting that he take steps to ensure that I recuse in Trump v. United States and any other cases related to the 2020 presidential election or the Jan 6th attack on the Capitol. As the court has pointed out, quote,
Wait a minute, Stephen, before you dive into that, would it be worthwhile to read Durbin's letter to Alito that Alito was responding to, where he makes the case about why this is a big deal? Do you think for context that would matter?
Can you just summarize it for me?
I'll send it to you.
It's like, hey, dipshit, you're a fucking judge and you're having a very political thing outside. This is not good. That was the letter.
That's
probably.
basically, yes, in so many words.
Okay.
Read
Keep
it.
reading, Steve. Go. Not.
In it,
we
you
know
claim
what that
2
was.
incidents involving the flying of flags created an appearance of impropriety that requires my recusal. The application or the applicable provision of our code of conduct states as follows. B, disqualification. 1, a justice is presumed impartial and has an obligation to sit unless disqualified. And 2, a justice should disqualify himself or herself in a proceeding in which the justice's impartiality might reasonably be questioned. That is, where an unbiased and reasonable person who is aware of all relevant circumstances would doubt that the justice could fairly discharge his or her duties. Code of conduct, blah, blah, blah. Okay. The 2 incidents as you cite do not meet the conditions for recusal set out in B, subsection 2, and I therefore have an obligation to sit under B, subsection 1. The first incident cited in your letter concerns the flying of an upside-down American flag outside the house in Virginia, where my wife and I reside. In considering whether this event requires recusal, an unbiased and reasonable person would take into account the following facts. As I have stated publicly, I had nothing whatsoever to do with the flying of that flag. I was not even aware of the upside-down flag until it was called to my attention. As soon as I saw it, I asked my wife to take it down, but for several days, she refused.
Guys, what are you talking about here? Why are you laughing?
Because this
That can be
never
true.
happened. But okay, my wife and I own our Virginia home jointly. She therefore has the legal right to use the property as she sees fit. And there were no additional steps that I could have taken to have the flag taken down more
We stop right
promptly.
there for just a second because I'm curious. I've never owned property jointly. I've never been married. Dan, Stephen, you might be able to answer this. Wouldn't he have been within his legal right to just take the flag down himself?
Of course.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
My
then he
wife's
was
Like,
reasons.
be the fly in your soup.
My wife's reasons for flying the flag are not relevant for present purposes, but I note that she was greatly distressed at the time, due in large part to a very nasty neighborhood dispute in which I had no involvement. A house on the street displayed a sign attacking her personally, and a man who was living in the house at the time trailed her all the way down the street and berated her in my presence using foul language, including what I regard as the vilest epithet that can be addressed to a woman.
You think that's cunt?
Probably.
Yeah, it is.
Definitely cunt.
Now, it's interesting, he said, this was in large part to a very nasty neighborhood dispute in which he had no involvement, but then he says that he was next to her when this guy called her a cunt, but okay. My wife is a private citizen, and she possesses the same First Amendment rights as every other American. She makes her own decisions, and I have always respected her right to do so.
Feminists.
She has
We
made
love to see
many
feminists.
sacrifices to accommodate my service on the Supreme Court, including the insult of having to endure numerous loud, obscene, and personally insulting protests in front of our home that continue to this day and now threaten to escalate. I am confident that a reasonable person who is not motivated by political or ideological considerations or a desire to affect the outcome of Supreme Court cases would conclude that the events recounted above do not meet the applicable standard for recusal. I am therefore required to reject your request. The second incident concerns a flag bearing the legend, quote, an appeal to heaven, end quote, that flew in the backyard of our vacation home in the summer of 2023. I recall that my wife did fly that flag for some period of time, but I do not remember how long it flew. And what is most relevant here is I had no involvement in the decision to fly that flag. My wife is fond of flying flags. I am not. My wife was solely responsible for having flag poles put up at our residence and our vacation home, and has flown a wide variety of flags over the years. In addition to the American flag, she has flown other patriotic flags, including a favorite flag thanking veterans, college flags, flags supporting sports teams, state and local flags, flags of nations from which the ancestors of family members came, flags of places we have visited, seasonal flags, and religious flags. I was not familiar with the Appeal to Heaven flag when my wife flew it. She may have mentioned that it dates back to the American Revolution, and I assumed she was flying it to express a religious and patriotic message. I was not aware of any connection between this historic flag and the Stop the Steal movement, and neither was my wife. She did not fly it to associate herself with that or any other group, and the use of an old historic flag by a new group does not necessarily drain that flag of all other meaning. As I said in reference to the other flag event, my wife is an independently minded private citizen. She makes her own decisions, and I honor her right to do so. Our vacation home was purchased with money she inherited from her parents and is titled in her name. It is a place away from Washington where she should be able to relax. A reasonable person who is not motivated by political or ideological considerations or desire to affect the outcome of Supreme Court cases would conclude that this event does not meet the applicable standard for recusal. I am therefore duty-bound to reject your recusal request. Sincerely yours, Salivta.
My guy, Semi.
So this letter, you think, does what exactly?
I think that it very plainly puts out the facts that
He's trolling.
he
He's
was not
laughing as he's
responsible.
trolling.
He was not responsible for that flag being hoisted.
My God.
It was his wife.
Can I ask you?
Yeah.
Do you live with anyone? You have like a boyfriend or girlfriend or something?
I have a relationship.
Okay, you're with this person.
I am and I'm not in different times.
Okay, I'm trying to. Do you? When this person does anything, have you given them permission to do that thing?
Never.
So anything they do by nature is without your permission.
Do you think that's just a language thing, and what he meant is I didn't condone it. I
She's a
didn't
very
tell her
willful
to do it.
person. She's
Okay.
she's her own person and she does what she wants.
Okay, listen to me. Okay, these are Supreme Court judges that are using the most
Using
Good one.
using the most weaselly of weasel words so as to have maximum impact in the letter while saying nothing.
Well, and
okay?
it's not even, we're not even talking about that. I hate that Dan is the right take here because fuck Dan, okay? But I feel like Dan is the only person here with any concept of what it means to be married. It's not just a fucking random person that you live with and fuck sometimes, right? This is like somebody who's supposed to be your other half. You are union, right? And are these religious people? Because it would further this argument even more. You represent each other's reputations when you're out publicly. You're a married couple. She has his last name, I assume. The idea that you function completely independently of each other, especially in an arena that directly implicates your partner's career and his job is one of the most important jobs. Like imagine if Mrs. Walmart was out tweeting, God, Target's the best store ever. I always shop here. Like that would be an insane thing to tweet. That would be crazy to say, right?
Wait,
you wouldn't
but you'll go so
divorce
far
them
as to believe-
immediately.
Wait,
You
wait, wait.
wouldn't-
But now we're doing something else, Lycan, because Steven needs to agree now with Dan that he believes
yes.
that. Wait.
That is something that has
Yes.
to happen.
Wait,
We
so
can,
Destiny-
if Destiny doesn't agree with me, we
Listen to
know
Then we know
that
then
it's
we know.
fucked.
So,
Yes.
Okay, so Destiny, do you agree with Dan that 90% chance Samuel Alito actually wanted that flag up?
No, if Dan said that, I disagree. It's 95%.
Oh my God! What the fuck?
Absolutely. Because if Alito cared about, okay, as much as these cucks say they care about the perceived impropriety of the court, or the perceived
Legitimacy.
Yeah, the legitimacy of the court. If his wife puts that fucking flag up, I bet he's calling the fucking cops, saying somebody vandalized our fucking home. I want that shit taken down immediately. Day one,
my
hour
fucking job
one.
is on the
Yeah,
line,
of
bitch.
course.
The fuck
Yeah,
are
what
you
the fuck?
doing?
I'm a Supreme Court justice, bitch. You fucking out of your mind? What the fuck is wrong with you? That's insane.
I'm like, oh, hey, you know what? I'm just going to leave this up for a few days while we talk it out.
Yeah, that's
retarded.
insane. Yeah, also, yeah, look at him. Look it up. He just go ran. He knew it.
So I think that Alito should be recused from, or should recuse himself, just because it doesn't matter whether it was his wife or not. Like, we're not going to mind read. The FBI isn't going to investigate text messages, so he should be recused for that reason alone. It's like this one case you don't get to fucking touch. Fuck off. You're
Well,
done.
the standard too, like, and to be clear, the standard is the appearance of impropriety. That's the whole
Exactly.
point. Yeah.
Yes. So for that, I'm fine. But let me lay out a scenario. In what do you call it? If you have a security clearance, right? You're not allowed to have a partner that does drugs. The government will never tell you to break up with them, kick them out, whatever. But you have to report whether or not you are engaging with people like this. And if you report it, and it's like, well, are you still fucking with them? Like, that's going to be a hit against you. So do you think you find out your girlfriend smoked pot or your wife smoked pot on a Friday night? Like, do you think you're obligated to break up with them immediately? Or that it's like, hey, you fucking don't do this again. And then you report it and say, hey, this happened, but it was resolved and it's never happening again. Like, do you think taking 2 days to like talk
I mean,
it
this
out
is like
instead of just ending your
this is like the
relationship?
part of the this is like the hyper niche. Like, we're being hyperbolic. I think even Dan would admit you don't divorce them immediately. But like this would be a massive.
I didn't know if you guys were like serious.
No,
like,
but this is an
fucking-
egregious front. This is one of the biggest fuck yous to a partner that you could ever possibly give. It's an insanely disrespectful thing to do
absolutely.
to the
You know
marriage.
what a great example would be? What about if I put a giant, like, Hassan is the best flag in front of my house? How do you think Steve would react to that? Well, actually, he probably wouldn't give a fuck. But,
True.
you know,
He'd probably
Right.
just assume you were joking with him.
yeah, he probably would in that case. That's a bad example. Listen,
But it
it's
misses the
just-
point. Imagine you're
Yeah,
married
I
to a
don't
partner, right? Imagine if I had a wife and she was going online saying, "I think Hassan gives the best political commentary on the internet," right? Okay, well that's pretty. Yeah, that's you're kind of fucking me over hardcore there, right? Like, yeah, it would be insane. Yeah, but this is not a real argument. I don't understand. Or maybe just because Dan's the only one that's been married. Josiah, you're in a relationship, right? I don't know if that's probably
Yeah.
not.
No.
You,
Yeah, I
you
am,
obviously
it is.
have, like, if your partner was to go onto YouTube and they were to start making videos about how, like, MAGA is the truth and Biden is like a child rapist or some shit, and then and they publicly traded on your name, right? They're like, oh yeah, like, I'm pondering politics as partner, like, blah blah blah. Like, yeah, it's so obviously fucked. I can't even believe
No,
No,
100%.
it's huge.
it's not a real
But that's why-
conversation.
That's why I don't think that like he wanted it, or like I think he's smart enough that he knew that like you can't.
What are you
fucking do
saying,
that.
Lycan?
I'm sure they were fighting about it for 2 fucking days, and he was like, "You
No,
need to fucking
like,
because here's my
here's
question
the-
to you. If I
oh
go,
my
here's a
God.
question
Actually,
because I
like,
haven't looked this up. Wait, real quick. If I go and look up Alito's wife, is it going to be she was like a fucking Starbucks barista, or is she going to be some Ivy League educated person who absolutely knows the implication of everything that's going
I'm
on
saying
here?
she's wrong. Wait, hold on.
Okay.
Just to be clear, I sorry, we're getting too heated. I'm saying she's wrong, and it was incredibly fucked up. I'm just saying I don't think Alito was like, yeah.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I think under any other circumstances, I might be inclined to agree that a rational person would probably be like, what the fuck have you brought down on me? The reason that I don't buy it here is because I think Alito is well aware that there's no real consequences to this. We aren't going to impeach him. We don't have the votes for it, number one. Number two, he's also gone on the record to say that he doesn't believe, he told, I think it was the Wall Street Journal, or maybe it was the Washington Examiner, but he went on the record during an interview and said he doesn't think that Congress has the power to regulate the courts. That's a verbatim quote. He genuinely believes he's unaccountable. And like the Supreme Court Code of Conduct, like even the recusal, right now, all that can be done is just people write sternly worded letters demanding that he recuse himself, and it's ultimately left to him. Even
You're
Rob-
muddying the waters, Zai. You're muddying the waters. Did he want that flag up or not? That's the question. Why did he take it down if he didn't?
He wanted it
Well,
up, and he probably took it down because it was
public
starting to kick
pressure.
up too much shit in the media. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so then he didn't want it up. So why did he want it up if it wasn't
No,
going
he
to
did
signal?
want it up. He wanted
Hold
to
on,
make a
excuse
point,
me.
but he
What?
made
That's
it-
like saying.
Point to who?
Wait,
Point
wait,
to who?
hold on. Wait, was it first degree murder? Did you stab him with premeditated intent? Yeah, I did. Well, wait, hold on. But my client doesn't want to be in jail now. He doesn't want to be in court. So obviously he didn't want to do that. What the fuck? That you can't use the consequences of the action to say they didn't want to actually do the action because they didn't like the consequences? What are you talking about?
How was it a signal to the Proud Boys if there was never even public knowledge that this happened, or that he didn't make an effort to make
Who's
it
saying
public
it was a
knowledge?
public? Who's saying it was a message to the Proud Boys?
What was the point of this conspiracy? Dan is literally advocating for a conspiracy.
It's not a
He says that
conspiracy.
They got together and they were like, "Let's do this little thing to signal."
Well,
That's what he literally said.
It's not. No, hold on. I think what he said is his wife was
He
probably
literally
like,
said that.
Dan, do you
Okay.
think there was some crazy secret conspiracy, or do you think his wife was like, "Hey, I want to hang up this flag and I'm gonna do this shit because I support the Stop the Steal bullshit"? And Alito's like, "Yeah, fucking A, do it. Fuck him."
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly
that's it.
that.
Yeah, there wasn't. It was not some crazy. And then at some point, they probably started to get a lot of heat in the fucking media. And you
They're like,
know,
all right, fuck
Alito's
it.
like, let's, I don't know. And then eventually, he's like, okay, fuck, we should probably take it down. She's like, okay, yeah, fuck it. And then they took it down. That's probably what
Yeah,
happened.
because again, with respect, Pisco, we could flip it and say if he wanted the flag taken down, he could have just done it himself. He didn't even need to ask his wife, or he could have asked his wife and she said no, and because he jointly owns the property too, he could have just worked the flagpole himself. And instead, he let it up.
That's a good point. Yeah, just the regular 1 milk and sugar. Sorry, guys. I'm in coffee shop.
You fucking bougie bitch. You're
No,
probably in a
it's
coffee
Dunkin'
shop
Donuts.
somewhere. You need to order like JD Vance. Order whatever you're getting like JD Vance.
This is also a strategy so as to imply that the conversation is below him, and he's.
It's not a strategy.
It's so easy that he can order coffee at the same time. You think that these strats are going to work on me? I've been here when these strategies were fucking created.
His
Okay?
wife
Oh.
was
Don't-
a law librarian when they met, so she absolutely knows all of the standards
Thanks
and
so
everything
much.
at play here. She's not some random retard too.
Thank you. I think that you guys are reading too much into this. I don't think that he actually wanted the flag to fly, and I don't think you can prove that.
Oh,
We don't have to prove it.
well, I agree. We can't prove it, but this is not a court of law.
Well, no, it's literally not a court of law. We don't have to
Yeah,
prove any of this. It's just like, does
Yeah,
it
it's just the
appear?
most likely.
Yeah, the
Yeah, it's
appearance
most
of
likely
impropriety. Oh, probably it does feel pretty improper. It does feel pretty
So
bad.
you think he should be impeached and removed for the flag thing?
I didn't. None of us. First off, none of us said that. Okay,
Well, I said it
arguing-
later.
Steven literally said
I
that.
said it
know
later.
I said
I did
You
say
know,
it
I don't
later,
even know.
and I think they
Okay,
should.
I
But if he
did that.
refused,
I did.
at the very least, he should have probably recused himself from these cases.
Of course.
I think.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, that may be the case, but that wasn't the argument we're having right now. The argument that we're having is what's the likeliest explanation for why this happened in the first place. And you are taking an extreme, like, attorney-style take, which is like, you can't prove that this is not true, therefore it is most likely. It is not the most likely outcome.
Or
The
even
most-
to clean up Dan's statement, because Pisco's playing the beyond a reasonable doubt standard. Dan is appealing.
No.
Dan is appealing to a balance of probabilities. It is 51%, absolutely, and Dan is correct
It's
there.
50. Hang on, but you said it was 95%.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, but we only
We're
have to
gonna
prove.
be
That's
at
what we
least
think, but we only have to
51.
prove 51%, which we've adequately
Oh.
demonstrated.
Well,
Actually-
then it's clear. I'm not applying a beyond reasonable doubt because I just said 85%, and so that's not beyond reasonable doubt. So I'm not doing that. Debunked.
Yeah, you're not doing that, and it's making me wonder. I should do a video on this. Your judgment, to be an effective attorney, you have to also be able to understand what the common jurist is going to think when you're out there if you ever have to go and plead a case, if you're talking there, right? And right now, you are saying some retarded shit, and they're going to be like, this guy, if he's willing to go and say something so wild right now, why should I take anything else he's saying seriously?
So what you're saying is, like, so first of all, what you're saying is it's not plausible that someone could hoist a flag or any
I
kind
didn't
of
say,
display.
didn't say it wasn't plausible, so it wasn't likely.
Yeah, and also when you say that, you're
Wait,
appealing
no,
to
it's-
beyond a reasonable doubt. You say it's not plausible. There's no possible way that this thing could happen. Yeah, it's possible, even plausible, but likely.
But he's putting in the percentage at like 1%.
We only have to put it at like 5 to 10%.
Well, he put it at like 1. He said like 0.5.
Hold on. We're not on the affirmative. You've gone by saying that you thought it was 85% chance that the husband
Yes.
had nothing to do with it whatsoever, and this is just a shocking turn of events, and he can't believe this. And I'm just going to leave it up for a few days, because, I mean, what the fuck can I do? that
I
to
think
you, you think that would be something that you would like to argue in front of a jury of common people that are married?
The common man.
Any day of the week, I think that I would argue that, given the evidence that we have, there's not sufficient evidence for me to conclude beyond a 15% chance that he actively wanted that sign up. And in fact, the evidence that I have shows that he wanted it taken down.
Wait, well, what is the only evidence that you have?
Is that he said that he wanted it taken down, and it came down.
Ooh, so that means if this was court, that means we could put him on the stand. I mean, we start asking him all sorts of personal questions. Would we be allowed to subpoena his fucking call logs, his text history with his wife? Would we be allowed to do that?
I think it's a big nothing burger. I think it's red herring.
How is it a red herring? Well, if he wants to testify against himself in his own defense, then wouldn't we be allowed to? We'd be allowed to look at those records. You don't think we would find a single email, a text? You legitimately believe that if we could see their text messages, he'd be like, "Oh, I can't believe you brought that up. Could you please take it down?"
And 75 years old.
Okay, emails, phone conversations, anything. You think that letters?
They probably talked to each other in person. I don't know why
home
you guys
security
all
footage.
That they have
Let me ask you. Let's be more.
You know what
more
I bet?
to
You
the
know
point.
what? If we could get their home footage, I bet we would see Mrs. Alito standing on the porch, okay, flipping the bird to the neighbors, and we'd see Mr. Alito in his fucking golf shorts. He'd be the one hanging the flag up 100%.
I got something. It's an article, and I'm looking at it in chat. And I think it has his wife saying that it's like footage of them fighting or something, and his wife saying he doesn't like it, but I don't care.
Oh no, they probably just said that just cause to throw people off the scent. That's what Dan wants you to believe.
Hold on.
Dan wants you to believe that
hold
they're
on.
making these statements.
What chat you put this in?
Hold on, I'll give it to you.
Always bet on Pisco, guys.
I didn't see you in Destiny's chat, so.
Can you play it in here? Or
Yeah,
do I
I
have
am.
to,
Hold on, I'm
listen to
looking
your
for it.
stream?
1 second. Because it's a fucking political article, so it's all.
I just have to refuel. Just give me a second.
Oh, the audio was posted on X.
I wanted to say hello to again. My name's Lauren. I met you last.
Shut the fuck up, Pisco.
No, that's. I'm
sorry,
playing the
go ahead.
recording. I'm playing the recording. Sorry.
Oh my god.
So, anyway, I wanted to tell you.
What are we looking at? Exclusive undercover audio. Oh boy. Sam Alito, John Roberts, The Undercurrent. Justice Alito admits lack of impartiality with the left, says one side or the other is going to win.
My husband wanted to be here, but in a last minute business thing, it was just like, make sure that you tell Justice Alito that, like, he is a fighter and we appreciate him and he has all the grit, and I know.
This is a 7-minute recording. Hold on.
Just read the article.
Which part of the article?
Control F in a lengthy exchange, maybe. That might be the part, the next, 4 paragraphs.
And what date was this about?
This article was on 6/10/24.
Okay. And when is the recording from?
I don't know.
Well, that's pretty relevant to what we're talking about, no?
Sure.
God, I don't know why I trust you.
Well, I just remembered that this fucking came out and I Googled it, so.
You just picked a random recording? You didn't even do your due diligence.
Sorry.
Hold on.
Well, no,
There we go.
I just remember the point.
Miss
I
Alito.
don't know when the recording is
I
from.
just met these ladies tonight.
Hold on. It
I'm
did come out.
Hold on.
The
Wait a second.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's not okay though. It's not okay.
It's okay. It's okay because if they come back to me, I'll get them. I'm going to be liberated, and I'm
What do
going
you
to
mean
get them.
by
Oh, well,
gay?
there's a 5-year defamation statute of limitations.
But I don't know what you mean by gay, like
The media.
Oh, okay.
Come on, I'll get you. Come on. You know, I was denigrated early on when we first came to town. And the woman then won a Pulitzer Prize. She was commenting on my clothes. She said that I wore a baby blanket one day, and the next time I had on a Lazy Boy recliner pattern suit. And so when she won her Pulitzer, I called her up. I said, hello, is this Robin Givhan of the New York Times? Yes, it is. I said, oh, I'm so proud of you. You're getting a Pulitzer Prize. I said, and will you be wearing Balenciaga? And she goes, no. I said, why not? She said, it doesn't flatter me. I said, oh, come on. Such a high-end thing. It doesn't flatter you? And then I said to her, you know, it's a beautiful day. It's April 2006. I said, maybe we'll go outside today in New York. It's really beautiful. Take a walk. You can enjoy life. She never came after me again, but she went after Jane Roberts again. That's why she got her Pulitzer between Jane and me, criticizing the clothes that Jane had put the children in and the clothes that we wore.
But why do you think they're coming after you?
They
I mean, like, the whole, like, appeal to have heaven flag was, like, bullshit, right?
Right. But that's, you know, the other thing is the feminazis believe that he should control me.
Yeah.
So go to hell. He never controls me.
But, like, I have the same flag.
Yeah, I know.
No, but, like, a lot of people fly that fucking flag.
Don't worry about it, baby.
I'm sorry. I should watch my language.
It's all right. It's all right.
I'm sorry. I did not mean
It's
to.
okay. It's okay.
No, but it makes me so angry.
Don't get angry. Don't get angry. Get angry. Bye, baby. Bye, cat. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, meow. She's a bad girl.
Cat's escort, Louis.
Hi, Louis. Good to see you.
Likewise.
I'm Natasha. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Natasha. Yes, we're never going.
Okay. Jesus. This lady's fucking insane.
So-
Holy shit.
Whoa.
Hold on.
That's a
What
private
the-
citizen.
That's the most
What's
retarded
likely-
recording I've ever heard in my fucking life. I actually muted in here because I wanted to hear the retardation first fucking hand. What the fuck do you expect this bitch to fucking say? Oh yeah, you know, me and my husband, we plotted together to do it, but I secretly did it by myself. Like, what?
Okay,
This is obviously
Dan.
what you would fucking say. This is like,
Let me.
first off, it's
Okay.
hearsay after the part. This is like so stupid to fall back on this and be like, oh, well, yep, this proves that, you know, she says that she's her own person and she would never. So, like, I guess that's it. Like, bro.
Okay. Or let me go ahead and just cite to this. You're listening to the wrong part of the conversation. The conversation in question that you're all fighting about happens to deal with when she's talking about the neighbors and the flags. And she sits there and says, I'm going to be so glad when my husband is done with this thing of mine, because then I can act out and basically do whatever I want, and I won't be hampered or restrained by having to watch my own behavior in light of, like, his position. That's more or less the quote that came out of all of this.
Okay.
We are the champions.
I'm sorry,
My
what would you expect
friend.
these people to say publicly?
Well,
Oh,
technically
so
they're not
all
saying it
live.
publicly. They're being selfly recorded.
Uh-oh. The walk back.
If
I'll
they're-
take my apologies. One by
You're-
one. Let's start with Dan.
You're
with
actually
Dan.
more retarded for thinking that this makes you look better. This is like
Oh, it proves your point. It proves your point. Tell us how it proves your point. It doesn't even
If
distract
you're
from your
looking for,
point.
What do you think
you're
this
looking for
proves?
the
An
specific
unrelated
thing.
conversation with her afterwards. Do you think that she's going to say, "Well, my husband controls me," and
Does it help me at all, or does it not move the needle one bit?
this is what you would expect someone to say when their
Mhm.
husband is in controversy, right? What-
Yeah,
what-
I
what
asked
would
you a question, Dan, and I don't know if you remember.
It does not move the needle at all. This is
Not
exactly
even
what
1%.
this
That's how
is-
you know. So I'm going to ask Steven the same question. Does it move maybe 1% over
It
and
black pills me on the court. I'm going to okay, I'm playing this part because this looks like the relevant part that's coming up.
You know what I want? I want a Sacred Heart of Jesus flag because I have to look across the lagoon at the Pride flag for the next month.
Exactly.
And he's like, oh, please don't put up a flag. I said, I won't do it because I'm deferring to you. But when you are free of this nonsense, I'm putting it up and I'm going to send them a message every day. Maybe every week I'll be changing the flags. There'll be all kinds. I made a flag in my head. This is how I satisfy myself. I made a flag. It's white and it's yellow and orange flames around it. And in the middle is the word vergogna. Vergogna in Italian means shame. Vergogna, V-E-R-G-O-G-N-A. Vergogna. Shame, shame, shame on you. You know, anyway.
Well, I just want to let you know.
So I feel like there's actually enough here for both sides to argue whatever they want. So Pisco is fixated right now on the idea that she does like flags and she is into flags and she wants to fly them. And he said, oh, please don't put up a flag. But I feel like on our side, we could very easily say, well, she cited, I won't do it because I'm deferring to you. which makes it sound like he does have the final say on these things. And she's explicitly
also-
saying
And it sounds like he has asked her to
she's
put it down
explicitly-
before.
Well, no, because in his letter to Congress, so hold on, Pisco, you admit that she's either lying here or he lied in his letter to Congress, right? Because he said
Why?
it took a few days, whereas here she's saying, well, no, I defer to my husband. I'm not going to do something because I'm deferring to him, right? So one of them is lying in one of these conversations, right?
No. Those
What?
are not
Okay,
a
how
contradiction.
can both those statements be true at the same time?
Okay, because one refers to a specific instance, and the other says that I'm going to defer to Sam Alito. It's a kind of present intent.
You don't get to
of what I'm
pick
gonna
and
do.
choose from evidence.
No.
You take it as entirety as the
hang on.
truth.
I just said something very clear, and I'm just going to repeat it again. One pertains to a present state of mind, that is, I'm going to defer to him. I'm going to defer to you in the future, and it's not in contradiction with the notion that.
Nope. That's not
Wait,
true.
then
She said.
Then replay the quote.
Yeah, sure. She said, and he's like, "Oh, please don't put up a flag," referring to the past. And then she says, "I said
Oh, that's a
I
different
won't
flag.
do it." Yeah, it's the heart one. I said
Yeah.
I won't do it because I'm deferring to you. But when you are free of
That's a
this
different
nonsense,
flag.
I'm putting it up and I'm going to send it.
That's a different flag. It's a different instance.
So, do you think that in
something-
those 2 years, do you think she came to a dramatically different understanding of whether or not she would fly flags with or without her husband's permission first?
I'm not saying she get it up. I'm just saying it's not inconsistent with the notion that in that period of time for that upside down flag that she could have not deferred for 3 days. or
Yeah,
2
but
days
you
or
have no
whatever.
evidence of that. And here she's saying she does
Well,
defer
I have
to him.
Alito saying it, and I have her
You have
being
Alito
like,
saying
I'm
it.
obsessed
Yeah.
with flags.
That is
I
correct.
love
You have
these
the
flags.
accused.
I love owning
you have
the
the
libs
guy.
with
You have the
flags.
guy who's accused of impropriety saying he didn't do anything improper. That is correct, Pisco. Number one. But you have his wife saying, "Well, no, I do defer to him in terms of what I put up, and I can't wait till he's out of office."
So then why is it? Okay, yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So
Wait, no, what you said it. You were going to say it. You stop yourself. You're like, okay, well then why was it flown? Because they both approved of it. Because they both wanted it out.
Also, this
you,
is
so you think on net this helps you?
this would not even
No,
be
I think there's enough
admissible in
here.
a court case.
Don't worry about admissible or not. Okay, I think
Does it on net help me?
I
or
think
does
on
it net
balance,
help
I think
you?
it can point either way because you've got enough in here for either way.
Weasel.
It's
Weasel.
not. She literally says, "quote I won't do it because I'm deferring to you." You realize she's still put that flag up, right?
It's a different flag. That conversation shows a little bit. Oh God, please don't put up another flag. That's what it sounds like, Steven.
It sounds
And
like
you're
the flag
coping
went up
so
and he had to
hard.
fight her on it. The flag went up, he had to fight her on it, and now she's like, ugh, I got to deal with his shit. But like
You could say
sounds
that,
like
but
he
that's
was against
conjecture.
it
You don't
the
know
first
that.
time.
We have no proof
Or
of
it
that.
could
We
be
have no
just
evidence
the
of that.
backlash, or it could just be a consequence of the backlash that Alito received about the upside down flag, where now Alito's like, fuck it, I don't want to deal with this again. Please don't fly any more flags.
You guys sound like Russiagate.
I'm just saying.
It's also.
This is not exculpatory.
I would
This
say
is not
that
exculpatory.
her conversation, this lady is batshit fucking insane. And the fact that he's married to her means he's
Hell yeah.
probably batshit insane too. That's the biggest evidence that came out of this one. She's fucking crazy. The feminazis. You're telling me that he's married to a woman who says feminazis and he didn't want that flag going up? I don't believe it. I think he loved it going up. I think he was clapping the whole time. I bet he hung it up himself.
You guys are crazy. Where are my YouTube conservatives? They're always calling me out. Do I have any
The
love?
problem
in
is
YouTube?
you simultaneously appeal to legal authority while also doing things that would never be admissible in court. This is just hearsay. If I murdered someone and then later there's a recording of me being like, man, my wife, she murders people. Fucking crazy. She loves murdering them. First off,
All right,
it's
Dan,
not
we're gonna leave
admissible.
it. No, no.
Second off, it has no bearing on the actual
Oh, okay,
acting.
we're ready. You want to bring up legal
I'm
concept?
still-
What
I'm
is
still
hearsay?
speaking.
What
I'm
is
still
hearsay?
speaking.
Oh, no.
What is hearsay?
What is my thing?
What is? Yeah, what is your thing? What is hearsay?
What is hearsay?
Yeah,
Hearsay.
you just said this is hearsay.
Okay. Oh boy. Like
Don't Google.
I have to get the legal definition of it.
Oh my God! It's an out-of-court statement offered to prove the truth of the matter asserted. Okay.
Okay.
That's
is that
what
not what this
hearsay
is?
So I would say that this is actually falls under some exceptions to hearsay.
It
I don't
would,
think that we.
So it is hearsay, but you're saying
No,
that it's
no.
exceptional.
I think it could be categorized as both non-hearsay, as in you wouldn't introduce it to show the truth of the matter asserted. We're not offering this to prove that, in fact, that Miss Alito or Sam Alito did say the statements that they're saying. We're offering it to show proof of their state of mind. And
Well, hold on.
if I
Also,
was being
wait.
tried
This,
for
hold on.
murder-
Wait. Just to be clear, this wouldn't be considered hearsay because it's about the accused. No.
No, because Dan is right that it's a hearsay exception or an exclusion is an opposing party statement. And
No. Hold on.
Well,
If I murdered somebody and somebody took the stand and said Stephen
Yeah.
said he was going to kill the next day, that wouldn't be hearsay.
that's an
I'm
opposing
the
party.
accused.
I know, but
Yeah.
Dan is correct. Dan is correct because I would be using it in the defense of Miss Alito, and it doesn't help me because it's still hearsay because I'm not the opposing party statement. The other party could introduce it to go after me, but I can't introduce that
that statement to help me.
Oh, because you're
That's
looking
why
at it
they
from
say,
Miss Alito's perspective.
Yeah, anything
Oh.
you say can be used against you, not for you, because it's an opposing party statement. So I can use it to defend it. Yeah.
Like, for instance, if I was to kill someone and then later I would go and
I
call a
didn't
bunch
kill
of
anybody.
people being like, hey, I just had a great day, totally didn't kill anyone. Like, you can't, that's not evidence. That's just me, saying something to other people. I mean, it's meaningless. That's what you'd expect to have happen.
No, but this goes to prove her state of mind, a common purpose, what she's like. And what she's like is she's the kind of person who puts up flags and tries to troll her husband with flags and can't wait to put up flags to troll the libs. That's
But
who
you
she
can't,
is.
but you
And
can't
Alito,
simultaneously say that while in here she's saying, I don't do it without my husband's approval.
But that's after the fact. That's after she already had to deal with this, where it's like,
Yeah,
oh, my
they already had
had
this big incident.
Okay. Well,
but we don't know if but they could have still been, because there was a big incident around this one as well, right?
Which one? What's the
She's
gay
referring
one? The one
specifically
she
to
never put
the
up?
heart of, or the heaven of America, or whatever, or the heaven
That's
heart.
not what she's talking about. She's talking about a hypothetical flag she never put up.
Are you sure?
And
Yes.
what would you expect someone like
Wait,
this to
it's
say
the flag
the
she's
public?
talking about is like it's the sacred heart, heart of Jesus. What was the one that went up? Was it something different?
Appeal to heaven or appeal to God. That's a different one.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Owned 133.
It's 1337.
Wait. Hold on. But that also disproves your statement, because earlier you said that the blowback to the American flag upside down, that the blowback was so bad that she changed her ways. But didn't the appeal to heaven one come after that?
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh, so that means he must
Why?
have explicitly supported that flag then, right? Because you're saying she changed her ways after the blowback to the first one, right?
Maybe
I don't know when she changed her ways. No. Alito said in his statement, and this is consistent, that he didn't know that the appeal to heaven was a bad flag. He thought it was just a historical flag. It's consistent.
But he could have, but he could have voiced disapproval about it after he learned about it, because there's public controversy about both of these flags.
True. Owned. Absolutely destroyed. Holy shit. I just buried you.
No.
Yeah.
He said the stupidest thing of all time.
God.
You guys are taking
Now
taking a little sippy. A
we
little
feel
sippy.
when you start.
Oh my
screaming
God.
All right, I won't do it.
destroyed
I
you.
won't do it anymore. But I just want
Asshole
everyone to be on
gaped
the
open,
record.
giant 16-inch diameter penis.
Steven does that more than anybody.
Owned. You got
Buckets
owned.
of
You got
cum.
owned.
You
got
can't
owned.
see
Sorry.
up to your
And-
eyeballs.
Pisco, you have not given an opinion on this as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
So we talked about impeachment, and we talked about at least recusal. Obviously, you don't support impeaching your favorite justice over this, but what about him recusing himself from like Trump v. United
No,
States?
I don't think he should. No, I don't think he should recuse himself.
Gotcha.
Really?
Over this.
Why not?
Because I don't think it meets the standard. I think a reasonable person taking all these facts and taking Sam's facts as given, which I'm going to assume because I don't have anything to contradict it, that I think a reasonable person would not say that because of what Sam Alito's wife did, that kind of
Okay.
undermines
Okay.
his
I'm going to ask you to engage this seriously. Okay. 1,000,000,000% seriously. Okay. You don't think it would destroy the Supreme? Also, we all acknowledge the Supreme Court's legitimacy right now is at, I believe, the lowest ever in history. Right. Imagine Donald Trump's Supreme Court case. The Jack Smith indictment, right? We know it's going back to the Supreme Court, right? Imagine that they end up dismissing basically every part of it, and they say that you haven't overcome the presumptive immunity barrier, like this is gone. Imagine if the next day the Supreme Court justices have the three liberals are flying flags of I don't know, American flags, and then like the 6 justices are flying Make America Great Again flags. You don't think that just like that collection of stories on that day would probably almost permanently tarnish the reputation of the Supreme Court, or to completely?
But what I'm questioning is whether Alito had a role.
So
in
let's
putting up
say that in this example, every single Supreme Court justice's spouse came out and said, "Oh no, that was us that flew the flag, not our spouse."
If I believe them, then I would say, yeah.
Seriously? Really? Wait.
people
Let's say
believe this?
hold on, wait. Let's say that was actually true. Let's say the FBI investigated and found it actually was the spouse every single time. You think then it would be okay or acceptable?
Okay or acceptable to put up the flag, or okay or acceptable for them to not recuse themselves?
I guess either.
Okay, I don't think it's acceptable to put up the flag under any situation if it's a joint property because of the appearance of impropriety. And so I would say if you did not take active measures to take down the flag, including but not limited to talking to your spouse and getting it within a reasonable amount of time,
including but not limiting to taking
divorce,
down the flag. We're missing out on that part. I know this is like a crazy thing to do, going outside and using your hands to remove the flag, but
including fighting your wife if she tries to keep putting it up, right?
literally
I mean,
going
you,
to fisticuffs.
you are, I assume, the man in this circumstance, yes?
Or even
I
fuck
am
even
the
being the
man.
man. You're a Supreme Court justice or you're a married party, and now there's a huge conflict of interest here, such that both can't survive.
Yes. So if they wanted to maintain the flag and they wouldn't put it down, and every time you took it down, they put it back up because they have equal property rights, I would say you need to divorce or leave the house. 100%. I'm not denying that. I'm just going to give some reasonable amount of time for the justices to address the flag issue and take down the flag. And I'm going to give some grace for them to do it in a way that is reasonable, that doesn't necessarily immediately
I guess
divorce.
if you
that kind of thing.
like,
I mean, that's all reasonable. I mean,
Sure.
it's all
So I'm
good.
not. I think that your statements there, maybe for you, Pisco, I don't know if I would necessarily have as much of a problem with this, but I don't ever want to hear any of these fucking losers talking about the perceived legitimacy of the court or the pressures that they face as perceived, illegitimate justices or whatever. I don't ever want to hear that again. It never needs to be written anywhere. They don't need to be commenting on it. They should never say that again, right? Because clearly the appearance of impropriety for a body that has no protection for itself and can't enforce its own rulings, right, doesn't matter to any of them. No, don't you?
Yeah.
It's just so undermining of. It's so undermining of the court. Like me seeing this now, I hadn't looked into this story. Now I'm upset. I didn't know that on January 17th that he was flying "Stop the Steal" flags. Because now that
he wasn't, she was.
That I love you. I don't even believe in fucking marriage, okay? But as a guy that's been in a relationship, it just doesn't work that way. There's no shot you can be that closely, like, married to someone, or how long have these guys been together, and not share at least some type of, like, fundamental view with them. I can appeal to Dan, who's been married here, okay? I don't know if he's just debate brained and wants to fight with Bisco, but I think even Dan would say this. Yes, in ordinary circumstances, like I can understand you guys having very different beliefs outside of your respective areas, right? So, like, let's say that my wife was like super into Ferraris, and I kind of like Mustangs, but like cars aren't my thing. Maybe she would publicly fight me there. But like for us to both have an area that we are expertised or credentialed in, and then for her to come out and do something that backstabs and undermines me so much.
You know, Miss Thomas, Ginny Thomas, was like actively part of the Stop the Steal movement, right? Do you know this?
Yeah, she was part of the fake elector shit, wasn't she? What didn't she?
Pushing hard.
Yeah,
in text message, all that stuff.
I think that's really bad. I think it's atrocious, right?
What should also Pisco on that front? Just I'm curious what your standards are. Should Thomas have recused himself from any J6 related case because of his wife?
No.
So
Really?
the fact that, like, and again, at the end of the day, Americans don't know even anything about civics. It doesn't matter. But like the fact that Judge Cannon in Florida was able to at least stall trying to dismiss a case against Donald Trump, partially because of a concurrence written by Justice Thomas, who's a Supreme Court justice whose wife was a huge part of the Stop the Steal movement and maybe even criminally implicated herself in the elector scheme. That's
if she's on trial, yeah.
That's wild.
People are telling me in your chat that I should get the wall. They're calling me Puko.
Oh yeah, they've been intense lately, Pisco. It's all right.
The problem is that you guys are refusing to act like people. I don't know why. Like,
what do you mean? Wait, what part, Dan? What part?
You guys are just completely attorney debate brained and are not listening to reason at all. None of this makes sense.
What part?
Well, it's not about. It's not about.
I
think the big part that we're disagreeing on, I just think, is the role that a husband and a wife should play in the combined marriage they have and how close they should be.
I agree with you on that. I think Pisco agrees with you on that too, right?
I don't think you guys do.
Like that as your partner, like you shouldn't jeopardize your spouse's career.
Yes, of course, you should not do that. Ginny Thomas should not have done that. It undermines the integrity of the court. It undermines her husband. Yes, it's all bad.
I just don't. Yeah, and like, yes, she should know better, but so should almost everyone that you're researching in the J6 stuff, right, Stephen?
Yeah. What is that?
So
but I think I think all of those people should be charged and disbarred, and a lot of them are being. So I mean,
sure. But what I'm saying is, it's not hard for me to imagine a scenario where Justice Alito steps out with his morning coffee and his wife's like, "Look what I did," and he's like, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah, I think that's probably what happened.
Yeah, but like,
and he doesn't go and just remove the flag before someone sees it.
We can speak. Remember, Pisco, yesterday you asked me, what do you think the Russia people should do? And it was like, I would release a statement. I would have like a full, like, here's the contract I signed. Like, here's all the deposit. Like, this is everything, just so you guys know it's on the up and up. Like, this would be a thing. Like, if I was a Supreme Court justice, okay, hopefully I'm never here and these logs aren't shown to me, okay. If I was a Supreme Court justice, I stepped aside and I saw some shit like that, like, I would probably be making a statement or doing something proactively to say something about this. Because the perception was just so bad.
Oh, it's fucking terrible. It's awful. Yeah. I just saying that, like, if it took 2 days, it's like, I mean, it's hard to imagine some scenario where, I don't know, he's trying to go take it down and she's hugging the flagpole, and then it's like, well, what's he supposed to do? Physically remove her?
I doubt she's hugging the flag. There's no way it was.
No, I'm saying exactly. That's not happening. But I can imagine it's like, you need to fucking take that down. And she's like, nope, fuck you. I'm leaving it up. And then they fight about it instead of him just taking it down.
And these people are still married 2 years later, to be clear?
Or also, I'm sorry, even more closely here. But would we? Maybe this is a stretch, but then what other types of influence does she exert on him? Like, if she's able to make him undermine the appearance of the legitimacy of the court, am I to believe that she doesn't influence his rulings either, or his writings?
Classic Democrat who really hates women, and they're assuming the kind of behind-the-scenes woman who's like corrupting everything. And what do you mean troll? That's what you're doing. You're saying there's a woman behind the scenes who's meddling in everything and affecting.
No, to be clear, you're the one that said that there's a woman behind the scenes meddling, because you said that you're giving all of the blame on this flag to her. So that's your story, that she's behind the scenes. She put the flag up. It's joint property. They both own it, but she put it up on her own without any involvement from him. That's what you're saying. She meddled in the reputation.
Because I believe in independent women who can do things because they have their own.
Well, she's not an independent woman. I don't know why you're saying that. She's a married woman.
So I don't believe in the doctrine of coverture. I don't believe that the independence of someone. I agree. You've made something. You've made a union, but you still have and retain aspects of your own identity. When you married the people you married, you retained aspects of your identity and independence. Yes, you created a union.
Let's just make this a little bit more extreme so we can see how retarded this is. Okay.
Pisco doesn't like
so. No. Let's go full retard, because I guess that's what we have to do.
A child porn flag.
Tomorrow, his wife puts up a flag that says "Kill all Jews." He said, I don't like that. He said, I don't like that.
I take it down.
3 days later, you can't just take it down. That would be crazy. Okay. 3 days later, he does it. Okay. Next day, kill all Indians thing goes up. The next day, another new flag. 3 days more goes up. This continues for the entirety of the Supreme Court justice's career. Is that okay?
No, I think there are certain flags that are
so it's
I think
not
that there are certain flags that are so
incendiary.
No,
you already know.
Wait. If there are certain flags that are so incendiary, if you believe that January 6th was an insurrection, if you believe that it was an attempted coup, then you don't think that a Stop the Steal flag that's essentially supporting that insurrection or coup hung up at a Supreme Court justice's house, you don't think that's just as incendiary?
It's almost there. It's not quite for me. It's not the Nazi flag. And you would agree with this, right, Stephen? You agree it's not the same as a Nazi flag? You agree.
I'm going to sound hyperbolic, but I would say it's worse, because the Nazi flag, I don't give a fuck. Who the fuck? That's weird as fuck. You're flying a fucking Nazi. Yeah, there are no Nazis in the United States. I don't.
Dude, you don't even believe this. You don't even believe it as you're saying it. Are you serious? You're more offended.
Hold on. One of these is having a fundamental change of the way the American justice system, the American democracy is moving forward. The other one is a bunch of fucking retards that drape shit over highways that has no meaning whatsoever.
Dan, I understand you're Jewish, right?
It has nothing to do with anything here. We're talking.
Oh my God, he got you so good, you fucking Jew. Oh my God, the trap card.
No. Guys, let's everyone take it down a notch, because we're all.
I'm taken down, but you can't simultaneously say that it would be not okay for his wife to do this every day for the rest of his career, while simultaneously also saying that she's an independent woman that can do what she wants.
You're trying to avoid the point.
I'm not. No, you're not. You won't answer this. Either she has the independence to hang a flag and do that herself, or she doesn't. Okay? How much she does it has never been in the question here. If she does it every day or once, so is once a week a Nazi flag okay? Is once a week the J6 is a Y thing? Is that okay?
If I had a spouse that put up a Nazi flag, I would immediately.
Forget the Nazi flag. Let's just go with the one that she's already done.
Because
upside down America is done. Is once a week okay?
You want to avoid this.
It's not him. I don't. You won't answer it. Because you know that if you admit that it's bad for it to be once a week, it's bad for it to be once.
If there's a pattern of it, and afterwards it's...
Is there a pattern of them putting up flags that are bad?
There's a pattern, but then it was stopped.
Well, after like 2 or 3 times, right? that we know of.
Okay,
we all
This
have
is like
close family
Wait,
members.
wait, no, we're letting them dodge. Like, and I agree with you what you just said.
You're not letting them dodge. You guys are fucking biting for
No,
time,
no.
trying to come up with
No,
some
no,
fucking reason,
no.
hoping that there's some
I know what
chatter
you're doing,
that's going to
Dan.
give you something
Dan,
to say. You're
Dan,
looking in chat
Dan,
furiously.
I'm playing
Someone out
Diablo,
there,
Dan.
please tell me
First
what
of all.
to
I
say.
know, Dan. I know what you. Hang on. This is just to Dan. Dan, what's worse, the upside down American flag or the Nazi flag? Go.
The Nazi flag is worse.
Okay, so Stephen, you agree that you're wrong? Dan, a Jewish person, just
Hold
told
on.
you.
When we
that the
say,
Nazi
in
flag
terms of like recusing yourself, again, Nazi, I guess like objectively the Nazi flag would be worse, but for a Supreme Court justice to have them flying this flag
did
outside
you
their
just
house.
Backtrack what you just said.
No,
So you
because
just
we're
backtracked,
talking
right?
about we're
First off,
talking
it doesn't
about
matter.
we're talking.
Even
That's
if
like
we
asking.
disagree,
Hold on.
it's
That's like
semantics.
asking if it would be worse to have a flag, a Nazi flag made out of unrecyclable plastic versus an American flag made out of some fucking like I don't know. This it's not.
You don't
relevant.
even understand what you're
The
saying. You don't even
no,
understand what
no.
you're saying.
Because the question about all of this is whether it threatens the legitimacy of the court and whether the Alito should recuse himself. If let's say his wife is flying a Nazi flag, should he recuse himself? Why? I don't know. Is he being asked to rule on Nazi things? That's way different than a stop the steal flag.
Which is worse, Sam Alito flying a Nazi flag or him flying the upside down flag?
The upside down one, 100 million %. 100 million %.
We've moved now. The initial point that they were pushing so hard on was that an independent woman can do what she wants and it should not reflect on the other person. And now we're moving off of that because we've given the example of what if she does it once a week? Because now it's not okay. Now she's no longer
Well,
an
even so,
independent woman.
it's not about how bad the flag is. We're talking about recusal, which means how much is your inability to be objective and impartial being called into question. And the Nazi flag has nothing to do with your impartiality for a stop the steal
badness
thing.
of a flag absolutely affects it. So if she had just put up a historical flag from the Union Army in victory against the Confederacy, you would say that flag, that she could keep the flag up. In fact, you'd be okay with that flag.
Wait, if what?
If they put up a Union battle flag that supported the American Union in the Civil War, you wouldn't have a problem with that flag flying at all. In fact, if Samuel Alito himself
it would depend. Like, let's say, for instance, I don't know if this was the case or not, but you know how they were removing those the Robert E. I want to say Samuel Jackson. The Robert E. Lee statues. You remember when they were removing the Robert E. Lee statues?
Yeah, I remember they removed
if
the
a
Samuel
Supreme
Jackson
Court
statues.
justice's wife or whatever was flying like, Union flags defeating, whatever the fuck in the Civil War, whatever.
You'd be okay with that. You wouldn't
No,
care.
absolutely not. Because now I don't know if you guys are flying flags supporting like the North and the Civil War, some bullshit while you're asked to rule on the tearing down these statues. No, that would severely call into question your impartiality. Of course.
So the same thing with the American flag, right? Why would you fly an American flag? It shows your bias towards America instead of people suing America.
I think you should be biased towards America. What do you mean? Or what are you talking about
In any case
here?
or controversy, there are individuals who sue the American government, but you flying the American flag could reasonably show bias that you're going to rule in favor of the government.
No, wait. That's not true. However, I think there are types of American flags for sure. So, for instance, you remember the Texas v. Pennsylvania case, right? Supreme Court original jurisdiction for state versus state cases, right?
Yes, I remember that.
What if somebody would have flown a Texas flag? I think that would be inappropriate. Yes. Or a Pennsylvania flag. That would be inappropriate. Yes. Do you agree?
Okay.
Wait,
What if
answer that.
Alito?
Do you agree that would be inappropriate?
It depends
On what?
on if they flew it right after the litigation started.
Either one. Before,
Why?
after, at
It's their
all.
wife doing
What-
it. Wife
so what if
doesn't
Samuel-
represent them.
What if Samuel Alito's from Texas? He
Yeah,
loves
even if he's
Texas.
from... What if he fucked the ground in Texas and that's where his children came from? They crawled out of the ground in Texas. Sure. Yes. What if he is from Texas? That's fine. I'll grant you anything there. You think he should be flying that flag when he's asked to make a ruling on this? On Texas v.
Well,
Pennsylvania?
the only flag you can fly is the American flag if you're American
Correct.
justice.
Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, your oath is to the Constitution of the U.S. of fucking A, not to Texas, not to some stop the steal bullshit. That is absolutely
Boston
correct.
Celtics flag.
If it's a sports team, then it's fine. Fly your sports team's flags. It's not political. What do you mean?
God, what the hell? There could be like sports teams that come to the Supreme Court.
Okay, fine. If there is a sports team that ends up before the Supreme Court, then you also shouldn't be flying the fucking. If it's like the Giants versus the Chiefs, and you're flying a flag for one of the teams, or you're wearing a football helmet when you're listening to oral arguments, I would say that's inappropriate. Yes.
Also, are you off the part of the wife having an effect now and it being the same? Or do you want to go back to that?
We can go back to that. You think
I can go back to that. Just to be clear, I'm pulling a Destiny on Pisco when I should be pulling a Pisco on a Pisco and forcing him to answer the questions because he hasn't answered any of my questions.
What's the question? What question?
Do you agree that it would be improper to fly the Texas flag if you were ruling on Texas v. Pennsylvania?
Yes, while that's in consideration,
Thank you.
it should be come down.
And afterwards, you probably shouldn't fly it either, at least for like a fucking year.
Well, for a year. Okay, for a year.
Okay, so then
I'll
we
give you
agree
the
on that.
year.
Cool. Okay. Cool. You agree that you shouldn't be flying a Stop the Steal flag when you're asked to rule on matters of election integrity, right?
You should not be flying a Stop the Steal flag.
Cool.
You
Right,
fucker.
Cool. Gotcha.
You should not be.
Okay, good. I agree. You shouldn't. Alito owns that property too, right?
Yes, he does.
Cool. Okay, cool. Gotcha. All right. Just making sure. All right.
Okay, but he took it down, didn't he?
Eventually.
After a few days?
Uh-huh.
So what should be done with him?
Shouldn't have been flown at all.
Okay, but now that he took it down, what should be done?
Now you recuse yourself.
No, really?
Yeah, because now anytime, imagine these cases come down. Now, I know it's hard to imagine because the Supreme Court is so fucked right now, okay, that it doesn't matter anyway. But imagine it's a 5-4 court instead of a 6-3 fucked court, right? And now you've got these unprecedented, earth-shattering rulings, and everybody's posting this picture of a Supreme Court justice with a Stop the Steal flag outside of his fucking home after the rulings. What more could threaten the legitimacy of the court than stuff like that? It's unbelievable.
Where's my Trump supporters in the YouTube chat? Hey, Republicans, rise up. Make yourself known.
Oh, boy.
That's Pisco leading the Republican board.
Here we go.
I'm about to dunk. I'm about to dunk on Tiny.
Oh, man. You're waiting for some links.
All right,
No. This proves your point.
If you're a Republican, make yourselves known because you're about to get the most delicious dunk
of all
here
time.
So really get yourself ready.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Do you know who RBG is?
Oh, fuck me.
You're going to have me. Okay, yeah. RBG, the woman who decided to die on the bench so that Trump. Yes. You think I'm about to come out and defend this woman hardcore? Go for it.
We're going to skip to the end. So she talks shit about Trump.
Let me do the dunk. You're stealing my dunk.
No, because I think
that's my dunk.
Steven's not gonna. He'll bite the bullet
No.
He's
wow,
no
Josiah's
way
right. Hold on, wait. Hold on. Just based on like the 7 words that Josiah uttered, this is what it sounds like you're about to say. That she has made statements off the bench outside of a ruling where she is very clearly not a fan of Donald Trump, and then you're going to say, do you think she should recuse herself in those cases? I would probably say yes.
Disparaging remarks about Donald Trump.
Yeah, then I would say probably yes.
She's going to recuse herself. Okay, really?
Yeah.
Excuse me. Hold on, Pisco. The entire foundational point of the immunity ruling is that every person in our court is so fucking retarded that they can't make a proper decision because of how politically mindfucked their brain is. That was Roberts, and the whole 6-3, the whole concurring opinions was that people are so retardedly politically biased they can't possibly make these decisions. So yes, if a Supreme Court justice is out there disparaging somebody that they're supposed to make a ruling on, you should probably recuse yourself. Yeah.
Okay, then what about Judge Merchan?
Oh no, not Judge Merchan.
Judge Merchan in the New York indictment of Donald Trump, the first indictment ever of a former president, the first conviction of a former president ever, donated money to Joe Biden. That was improper. He should have recused himself, right, Destiny?
No, that's completely different.
That's
why?
We're at a totally different thing.
Okay.
And it was reviewed by
why?
You can't make leaks.
We're at
like
a
that.
hold on, wait.
That's
If Alito came out and he said something like, if Alito had made a statement, even making a statement is wrong. If Alito donated money to Trump, I don't know if I would put that on the same level. Now we're on some very close First Amendment. Like, you have a right to donate to whoever you want to succeed.
And you have a right to fly a flag.
We're not talking.
That's not a distinction.
Sure, hold on,
you're
sorry.
Giving money, you're showing your support.
Hold on. You are, but it's. I think it's of a different kind. I think that we're talking about.
What if you gave $100,000 to the super PAC?
If you gave
hey, what about if they just voted for Joe Biden?
Yeah. Now what are we gonna?
That's private. Listen, I'm not the one having the standard.
You want to talk about that anymore? Answer the question.
Wait. I will. No, you should not recuse yourself. No, you should not. So,
but you publicly supported it. You said you voted for him too.
If you said you voted for them, I think that you should be warned. You should have a warning, and you should be told not to do it again. If you do it again,
this is just
listen. I have a workable standard. You know, you guys are saying that anything that indicates your
whatever
political
standard.
preference.
I never said anything. I didn't say anything. What were the things that we said? If you're making disparaging,
flying the Texas flag.
No, here we go again.
Flying what do you? Hold on, everybody. Hold on. He's doing a Reddit argument. Okay. Flying the Texas flag. No sane human being. Okay. No sane human being is going to just see that as you just like, oh, I just wanted to fly that. I thought it'd be funny. Every sane human being is going to look at that and say, yeah, I could definitely see impropriety there, or at least the perception of impropriety if you're doing that.
Not donating money to a political campaign for the rival of the person who's been indicted.
I think you might be able to argue that depending on when it was donated. When was it donated? Did the
election in 2020?
When was the indictment?
2023.
then
I mean, it would be an
hold on.
argument for
Then
them to
I'm
make
not
in front
even
of
sure.
court.
No, hold on. If they had like dropped the indictment and that day they like donated $5,000 to Biden's campaign, then this looks kind of stupid, and I think you can make an argument there. But no, has ever donated to the campaign like loses the ability to ever do an indictment? No, that's also.
But if you fly a flag
also,
one time for 3 days, you lose it.
Also, hold on. So not only one is your example dog shit, because you're talking about a donation in 2020 and an indictment in 2023. Not only is your example dog shit, an indictment is something that's involving tons of different people. Now you've got
ready for the second dunk? Ready
What?
for the second dunk? Ready for the
Sure,
second
okay, let me just
dunk?
finish my point. An indictment involves a grand jury, it involves all of your investigators, it involves probably some input from your attorney general, I would imagine, right? Your state attorney general. You've got a whole bunch of people implicated here. That's a lot different than just a Supreme Court justice whose final word is law on matters deciding how we interpret our Constitution.
Oh, so now
I think
it's
that's
different.
Sorry, Piska, before you dunk in that, when I think about what you're saying, because you're kind of losing me on the he voted for or donated
True.
money to.
He should.
it's
He
that
lost everybody
these people are allowed to engage in politics, have their own private politics, whatever. But
Yeah,
when
agreed.
it comes to the bench and it comes to defending the Constitution, what we haven't seen lately is them actually keeping their biases, like deciding to go and revisit Roe v. Wade and overturning
no,
it.
you can't do that. Can't do that. Can't look to the decisions, in my opinion, and assume, well, because this occurred, it occurred because of that, right? It could be the case. Recall,
You can't
right?
say for sure, but you can speculate pretty confidently.
I'm not so sure about that, bro. Number one. Number two. Here's the second dunk.
Well, the
I wanna
first
be
dunk,
clear.
because the first dunk wasn't a dunk, so now we're
It
trying
was
a
a
first dunk.
The
You missed.
RBG dunk. Well,
No,
I
it
guess
wasn't
you
because I bit the
first
bullet
bullet.
on it
You bit the
easily.
bullet. Yeah,
Easily.
you bit the bullet.
Yeah,
You're
easily.
like, yes, RBG should have recused yourself for everything involving Trump. What are you talking about?
If you're going to come out and make disparaging comments about a candidate,
Yeah, absolutely. you should.
absolutely,
Yeah.
for sure.
That's not even.
That's not even a hard
fact
one.
you-
That was easy.
Yeah. Why would you?
Josiah, do you agree?
That was an
Josiah,
easy
do you
one.
agree? Josiah, do you
Yeah,
agree?
I agree that RBG, because I didn't know about this until like the Alito flag controversy happened and someone brought it to my attention. And she didn't recuse herself. She apologized, I will say publicly afterwards, saying that she shouldn't have made the comments. But yeah, she should have recused herself on every case at the very least involving Donald Trump as a private party. Now, I don't know.
Why not as the government itself? It shows that she doesn't like his administration and she doesn't like him as a president. And so why shouldn't she recuse herself for everything, including in his official capacity?
I mean, I'm open to that. Just seems like that's even
It's
wider
too high
still.
of a standard for recusal here, folks. It's too high. I'm not someone who says that Judge Merchan should have recused himself from the indictment. I just want to be clear. The donation was like $35. I agree.
And it was reviewed by an ethics body.
I agree. It was. Listen, I agree. It was. Hang on a second.
And dismissed.
Do you think I didn't know that, Stephen? You think I didn't know?
Oh, that
Steven,
was a
Steven, you
sneaky
think-
one. Oh,
Steven!
Pisco pulled a sneaky.
Steven!
Wait, I'm sorry, Pisco. Who reviews the Supreme Court stuff again? What's the next court that you go to for them?
Oh my God! You really think that?
Oh my God! He tried to pull a sneaker there. Okay.
Guys, I'm not the one having the ridiculous standard. I don't think Merchan should have recused himself. But all I'm saying is, let's be even-handed about this. All right, that's all I'm saying. And your standard, which is
No, you're not. You're looking for a legal line in the sand, and this is wet work. Okay, this is a jury of your peers deciding if something should be or should not be, and you are trying to be like, nope, because of this exact one thing. It doesn't work that way. Do most people around you, are they going to look at the situation and be like, that dude can't be?
I think most people would look at RBG's comments and be like, that was stupid. She shouldn't have done that. Don't do it again. I think that's what most reasonable people would say.
Even
Well, here's the
saying that
issue. So
may be
her
the
statements,
case.
her statements had to do with like some. I'm reading this now. So statements about like, oh, I think it's insane he hasn't turned over his tax returns. What if Congress tried to pass a law, okay, and they said every president should turn over their tax returns, and it was passed in a Democrat Congress, and then it ends up before the Supreme Court for review, and it ends up 5-4. They decide, yeah, presidents should have to review their tax returns. And then let's say that Donald Trump, in his tax returns, it comes out that he was like a prolific renter of fucking blockbuster porn or some shit, and he loses the election or something,
God.
right? You don't think that conservatives are going to be looking at RBG statements and like, wow, crazy that the Supreme Court justice that thought it was ridiculous that Hillary Clinton was being held to a higher standard than Trump ruled on Trump's case about the, like, how am I supposed to believe? Was she making matters of constitutional interpretation here? Or was this just she fucking hated Donald Trump?
So Stephen doesn't know. Stephen doesn't
Okay,
know.
Pisco's going for
Stephen
what
doesn't
he's going to
know.
call his, he's
Stephen
going to call for
doesn't
his third dunk, which is going to be his first
Stephen
attempted dunk.
doesn't
Let's
know.
go. Yeah.
He's waiting for
Okay.
someone in the YouTube chat who sent him a
I don't
link. You might
think-
want to
hang
read the
on.
link before you try to say it's a dunk. I don't know what it is. but-
Conservatives, rise up. I need you to rise up in the YouTube chat. make yourselves known, conservatives. If you support red-blooded Republicans, make yourselves known, all right? You know what case came before the Supreme Court?
Can we ask the YouTuber that gave this to you?
An abortion case? Is that where we're going?
No, I don't need
The Trump tax
YouTuber
cases.
Oh yeah,
you can't say you don't need.
He
YouTubers when
knows.
You're telling them to rise up.
The exact litigation involving the reveal of Trump's taxes, and Stephen didn't even know that. Stephen didn't even know.
Wait. Understand? Hold on. I'm going to say what Josiah's about to say. These are only dunks if you are like substantially forcing me to either hold contradictory opinions or to reevaluate. If you're going to tell me that this went before court, Josiah knows. What are you going to say, Josiah?
That he was going to bite the bullet and say that she should have recused herself.
Exactly. Yeah, I would say that easily. Of course, 100%.
I think it's too high a standard. I don't agree with that.
So what should the standard be? What should the standard be? Wait, what should the standard be?
You get a warning. You get one flag. You get one warning. You get a flag. You get all that stuff. You get a warning.
Yeah, but that's not the law. That's like your fucking weird interpretation. Okay.
You get one.
The law is a jury of your peers determining innocent.
Well, careful, because we're talking about Supreme Court stuff. There is no jury here.
What are you talking about? You talking about hearsay? You don't know this shit, Dan.
Whoa.
I know. I mean, if you're gonna try and fall back on it, you can, but it's not gonna go well for you.
Pisco, the standard is appearance of impropriety.
True! Because, just to be clear, let me quote the guy that you love so much that you're simping for, okay? Piscolito, okay? I didn't know that this is your favorite justice, okay?
I do not like Alito. He's my least favorite justice.
It says that a justice should disqualify himself or herself in a proceeding in which the justice's impartiality might reasonably be questioned.
Yeah, reasonably.
That is, where an unbiased and reasonable person who is aware of all relevant circumstances would doubt that the justice could fairly discharge his or her duties. You don't have to prove, you don't have to say that, oh, they're absolutely going to be partial, they're absolutely going to be biased. It's where a reasonable person might question the impartiality. That's the standard. Okay. And I think a reasonable person would look at a stop the steal flag flying outside of a Supreme Court justice on January 17th and go, do I want this guy determining the future of presidential powers?
What if you knew the facts? What if you knew the facts that this is like a flag lady?
We don't know. The facts that we're talking about here are, the only relevant facts are that it was Alito's house and that the flag was flying outside of his house. That's asking
the only relevant thing. So if a vagrant put it up and without Alito's knowledge and he's on vacation, it's up there for 3 days, that's the only facts that matter, according to Stephen.
I think that there are some matters of public record. If a vagrant put it up, sure, but his wife putting it up, no, that's not good enough.
Yeah, and so
that's not good
in all
enough.
seriousness, I'm curious, what does her being a flag lady have to do with anything? Because again, he should be aware of the standard that it's about appearance of impropriety.
True.
So the fact that it's his property just as much as it is hers, and he's aware of the flag, if we take him at face value, which I'm not entirely sure we should, because apparently there's some dispute over the timeline in the first place.
Yeah, there's some timeline stuff. I agree. There's some timeline stuff.
Right. But why?
If he lied, he should be impeached and removed.
But I understand. But so put you're Sam Alito. You know that legitimacy of the court is based entirely on whether or not people think you're impartial.
On appearance.
That appearance of impropriety is the exact standard.
Yes, and that's why he tried to take the flag down.
Say a bigger what?
That's why he tried to take the flag down.
It shouldn't have went up.
Why did? And if it did go up,
bring it up.
Then why didn't he take it down himself?
Pisco right now is defending his client, saying, of course my client knew that the rape was wrong. That's why he took his dick out of her. That's what Pisco's saying.
Dude.
That's what Pisco's saying. That's what Pisco's saying.
Yeah, after 2 days of being in there.
He said he took his dick out. He knew that the rape was wrong, so he took his dick out. That's what Pisco's saying.
That's a bad faith comparison. Like, he's saying that, like, he's not going to go rip it down. He's going to fight with his wife for a couple of days. Like, no, you need to take that flag down. She's like, no, I don't want to.
That is
he's taking reasonable effort to take it down.
No, that is not reasonable effort to take it down. Okay,
if it's not reasonable effort to talk over 2 days,
swastika in front of my house, we're not gonna have a conversation about it for 2 days.
I agree. There are certain flags. For which it's so inflammatory that you need to take it down immediately.
Like a stop the steal flag 11 days after January 6th.
Yeah, that's not inflammatory.
Well, wait, Stephen, you agreed that there would be different standards for the Nazi flag.
But
I think the Nazi flag would be better here. I think it would be better than the stop the steal flag on January 17th.
That was a bait and switch. You said, Pisco, that some flags are so inflammatory. It doesn't matter if a Nazi flag is more inflammatory than a stop the steal flag. By I think a lot of people's standard, the stop the steal flag is sufficiently inflammatory that it would
require immediate removal as opposed to like the Boston Celtics flag if there's a Boston Celtics litigation. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I think that given the circumstances,
I don't even think that that's a fair comparison either, because outside of its relevance to ongoing litigation, a Boston Celtics flag is not inherently incendiary, I guess, unless I don't know what the rival team is, like the Knicks or whatever. I have no fucking clue. But
I mean, here's the question. Let's say that it's long established that, Judge Ginsburg, the late Judge Ginsburg, was like a huge New York Knicks fan. Do you think, and has a bunch of New York Knicks gear, has met the New York Knicks, and then there's a case involving the Celtics versus the Knicks, do you think that she should recuse herself? Or can she be assumed to reasonably adjudge the legal situation?
These are things.
I would say, hold on, she shouldn't have to recuse herself.
Okay, why?
Because I think that there are going to be some things that are of such a non-serious nature that it's not. It wouldn't be like if, let's say there was a ruling where
it's a perfect answer.
Let's say that SpongeBob SquarePants was this person's favorite show. They had every single SpongeBob SquarePants collectible, all the things like that, right? And that there was a case involving SpongeBob SquarePants and regulation that came up before the court. I would expect a Supreme Court justice to be able to rule on that 100%. Yes.
Yeah.
So
what if it sounds simpler, Pisco? I know you're making memes here.
I'm sorry. I'm not making memes.
What about if Dan, known enjoyer of cats, his whole life, can we expect him to be impartial on a ruling about
whether cats have rights?
About a pit bull killing someone? He doesn't like dogs. He likes cats. Yes.
Okay, so
that would not come into it, because you would expect that it is not such a defining part of my life that it would dictate for me to not have any sort of reason on the decision.
Oh, wait.
That's why this matters. These are very political, serious issues.
Yes, wait. Also, let me refine that a little bit, okay? So Dan just said, and I think we all agree, that if Dan is a lover of cats, okay, and somebody killed a cat and that came before the court, that Dan probably shouldn't recuse himself, right? He shouldn't recuse himself, right? We all agree with that?
No, because I think Dan has said he doesn't like dogs.
Pisco, you agree with that, right?
I agree that he probably doesn't need to recuse himself.
Okay, what if Dan had 20 years of activism as a chief, of PETA? Do you think that he should be involved in a Supreme Court case relating to
involving PETA
rights of animals or something?
Depends.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough for me. The fact that you even said depends shows that yes, then it would depend.
Hang on. If the question presented, if it's legitimately a PETA case, I think you should recuse yourself for sure. If it's about animal rights in general, you have to recuse yourself from anything involving animal rights. Like, let's say it's about whether or not cats can have copyright ownership rights. You have to recuse yourself for that because you worked with PETA for 5 years?
I said 20 years. But probably maybe not for a general thing, but at least anything involving PETA or anything that directly implicates PETA, right?
I think that's fair, but like...
Dunked, absolutely destroyed, obliterated, obliviated.
That's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about here is a flag that he didn't fly. According to...
You're trying to completely change things now. We've given a point of what's happening. You're avoiding what's we're talking about.
What am I changing?
This is a serious issue. Judges can be impartial on things that they've made a decision on, that they have personal preferences on. It's a factor of how important and how much it weighs into what they do. Me liking cats more than dogs does not disqualify me from having a say on a case that comes before me about cats and dogs. Me flying a upside down flag when I'm talking about, when I'm going to be ruling on J6 issues is absolutely a totally different matter of way higher standards. And the fact that you don't want to even engage with this is like, I don't know what to say to you, man. They're different things. You can't apply the same standard to everything. They have to be different things.
Cat dog. Cat dog. Alone in the world with a little cat dog. Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for you to say something that I should care about.
Okay.
Who's that in the background?
Me.
Dan, I think you're just doing this performatively.
I'm not a professional attorney or a professional debater, but I will say
you're not impressed.
It feels good to be back in the ring. I am not impressed.
Bro, you're literally sitting here saying RBG should never rule on a Trump case because she said like he should reveal his taxes.
How does it make you feel that someone as old and out of the game as me?
I'm the best there is. I'm S tier, and you know it. I've never lost a debate with Steven.
This fucking community needs a better class of villains.
Listen, while Steven is gone, I'm just saying all we should do right now all of us should be united in one respect, which is that we should be happy, because all of us have advocated for this, including Dan at some points. He's gone pretty hard on it, about Stephen becoming more adversarial with Republicans and embracing Democrats pursuing radical change to defeat them.
Yep.
That is good shit. That is phenomenal.
Okay, but do you guys think that I'm like biased in favor of Trump or MAGA?
No, of
I
course
have
not.
come on here.
Of course not. No.
So anti-Trump.
No, bro.
so
Memeing aside, the only thing where I think we genuinely have a disagreement is I think you are inclined to give the institution of the Supreme Court and its justices more of the benefit of the doubt than I am. Memeing aside, I think that's the only difference. We just draw the line at different places.
I don't know. I feel like the fact that I'm coming from a place of very anti-MAGA, very anti-Trump, that I want a system that's workable, I think should give me some bona fides to be like, hey, I see where you're coming from, but maybe this is not the right one, Chief. Maybe we should be focused on other areas of misconduct.
No, listen, I think it's a good faith disagreement, but I also think, I mean, again, I think part of this is because you're an attorney, you're an officer of the court. I think part of your training is to give deference to judges that the rest of us don't have. This court, we talked about this before.
You understand how hard I criticize all these?
No. Of course, I'm not saying that you're not critical of the court. I'm saying that I think that this is, my suspicion is this is one area in which that law school training, I think gets the better of you. Yeah, because at the end of the day, and we talked about this on Live and Learn and other places too, the way that the court is currently constructed, there are no checks on it. And so, being very blunt, I think the court in its current configuration, if you're going to be effectively an uncheckable body, you have to be fucking perfect. I'm sorry. I don't think you get to preside over cases if your fucking wife or your spouse, for any of the female justices, are involved, materially in ongoing litigation. Like, I'm sorry, Clarence Thomas should have absolutely written in blood that he would never go anywhere fucking near a January 6th case because his wife was involved. He was the one dissenting vote on the FBI January 6th text case, if I remember correctly. Like, what a disgrace. I'm sorry. If there were other checks, like the Merchan case, that's why even though I understand why people are upset about Merchan's appearance of impropriety with that $35 donation, at least we can say this was reviewed by other bodies. There are checks against it. There's a process. This court polices itself. And if you're going to police yourself in America, you better be fucking perfect. You don't get to do the shit that a president or a congressman or a senator can. You got to be a goddamn android. And if you're not, then I'm sorry. The standard should be ruthlessly high.
You have to be a step above, not a step below.
Yes, 2 steps above, 3 steps above.
Yeah, so do we think it should be like a constitutional thing that Supreme Court justices can't participate in politics in any way? They can't vote. They can't.
Nobody.
I don't know how you would word it.
Hold on. I'm not strawmanning. I'm being serious. Like, are there ways that we should limit engagement with politics? Like, should it be on the books that fucking it is explicit that I can't remember, Thomas has done something impeachable by accepting that fucking RV, going on those vacations?
That's the area where there should be more investigation into that financial thing. I think that's a legitimate area of investigation. By the way, I also think
PCO thinks you can't accept any gifts anymore. Good one.
Yeah, what about if it's a gift to your wife? Is that okay?
You guys are strawmanning me. No, this is what I think. I think you guys are living in a kind of unworkable system. That's all I'm saying. A lot of these people are previous members of administrations. We have SGs. John Roberts was a Solicitor General. Elena Kagan was a Solicitor General. And there are a lot of assumptions in the law that we just, we have to rely on people being able to put aside their biases reasonably. Now, I always point to this story, and it's one of the foundational stories in all of law school, and I'm going to do it again. John Marshall, sitting in the Marbury versus Madison case, that entire case was premised on his own failure to send a commission to Marbury. And he oversat on that case, right? And he was also part of the administration, the outgoing Adams administration. Taft was the Supreme Court the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court after his administration. And so, like, let's try to be a little bit more, I think, reasonable, good faith, and give some allowance for historical political involvement for some of these people who are just people. They're going to have private beliefs.
No, but I think that actually makes the opposite point, which is that the Supreme Court never worked as advertised, even going back to the founding. That was my argument, and the argument I was encouraging you and Stephen to make when you had your throwdown with Lactoid and everybody, which is, the Supreme Court's supposed to be this apolitical party. The founding fathers use it as a fucking political football. Adams used it as a football against Jefferson. He shrank the size of the court to prevent Jefferson from packing the court. Those are founding fathers. The court has always been, to one extent or another, a political institution that has been weaponized by the political branches. They've changed the sizes of the court for political reasons. They've altered jurisdiction. I think actually what you're saying is it's never worked as intended, and perhaps it's another reason why there should be reforms to rein them in. Because like with other justices, like it's funny, we're talking about the somebody mentioned, it was Dan or Stephen mentioned it earlier, Judge Cannon. Like, I think what Judge Cannon did dismissing that case against Trump was pretty fucked. But you know what the great thing is? There's a higher body that Jack Smith is now appealing to. It was the 5th Circuit, 11th Circuit, 7th Circuit, whatever it is. Like, there are checks on her. And maybe it's unlikely that he could get her thrown off the case, or maybe it's unlikely that it gets reversed on appeal, but at least there's something. With the Supreme Court, it's the only body in the federal government where there is no practical check on it. When I interviewed Sheldon Whitehouse, he said it. He goes, we can fucking investigate the president of the United States. And Pisco, you may not want to hear this, but the president was always intended by the founders to be more powerful than the Supreme Court. We can investigate the president. But there's no fact-finding mechanism for the Supreme Court. I'm sorry, it's just unacceptable. There has to be reforms. Or if there's not, last thing I was going to say, or if there's not, then the Supreme Court has to be fucking perfect. You don't get to have political opinions. You don't get to voice political opinions. You got to be a goddamn robot. That's my opinion. I feel very passionate about this.
I know you do. I want to make two things clear. Number one, I was wrong. John Roberts wasn't SG. He just worked in SG's office. I just want to clear that up.
Yeah,
really wrong about that. Number two, I got a question. If Alito had flown the flag, do I think that people believe that he should recuse himself, and should he recuse himself? I do believe that if Alito was the person who flew the flag, he should recuse himself. I just want to make that very, very clear.
What about if he lets the flag stay up?
If he lets the flag stay up and doesn't take reasonable efforts to take it down, I also think that he should recuse himself.
Can I ask you, what's a reasonable effort to take down a flag that's in your backyard? I'm very curious.
Yeah, I think having a conversation with the joint owner of a property and having it taken down within a few days, I think that's reasonable. I can't define the exact parameters of it, but I think that that's reasonable. I think most people would say, hey, he tried to take it down. It took a few days. He wasn't trying to he was balancing multiple interests, the relationship with the wife, that kind of thing. And I think most people would give him the grace, give him 5 days to take it down. I think that's reasonable. Reasonable.
So hypothetically, let's say that the wife was, dressing him, right? I guess a little bit. And he was dressing him, putting his outfit out for him in the morning, right?
Okay.
And there was a big old, I hate Joe Biden shirt. What's a reasonable amount of time for him to remove that shirt from his body? Should he have to have a conversation at first about it?
No.
Why not? His wife made the decision for him to put that on.
His wife laid out a shirt that says "fuck Joe Biden," right?
Yeah, sure.
He puts it on. That's him taking an active
step. Well, he didn't know right away though, right? Because it was inside out, and when he put it on, it's only after then did he see what it said.
I would say that he should take it off immediately, and if he doesn't, that's a problem. Because he has complete unilateral control over what's on his body, not in the same way as joint ownership.
He does not have complete unilateral control over the flag in his yard.
There's someone else in the yard that has equal and opposite, property rights, and they're just as much rights for him to take it down as her to put it up. And so that's a difference that matters. I think it would matter to you.
Property rights give exclusive control. Well, I mean, it depends if it's and versus or on the title. But that said.
Let's say
either
that
way, we can agree that he has 100%
I have another thing
authority.
for you. Let's say that Samuel Alito is a conjoined twin. All right, sure. Samuel Alito has a twin. Why are you laughing?
Crazy shit. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I think it's good because it takes away
I am so curious. If a conjoined twin kills somebody, do you have to serve the prison sentence along with them? Have we ever had this question brought before a court? Has this ever happened?
Stop it.
I think the problem that I'm having right now is that you're being unreasonable with the amount of time that someone should have to remove the flag, and multiple days is not it.
It's too much, you're saying. So so our disagreement really is about, you agree that reasonable efforts to take it down suffices.
Actually,
you don't
wait.
agree that reasonable...
I think that actually is a center point. I think me and Dan would both say it's fine if, like, let's say there's video footage of like Alito comes home from work at the court. He drives home from work, and there's video footage of him. He gets out of his car. And he's like, "What the fuck?" And he runs over and he's like taking down the flag. Or you see him run inside. He's like shouting at his wife, and then he comes out and he takes down the flag. Then I think we'd both say like,
fine.
Yeah,
Yep.
fine. Yeah.
But what if the wife comes and is like, "You can't take this down the neighbors," and he's like, "We're gonna have a conversation about this. I'm not gonna fight you right now in front of this camera, but we're gonna have a conversation." And then storms inside. What do you think
Has
about
that been alleged that that's been
No,
the case?
I'm just. It's a hypothetical.
But
Even
did
at
he
that-
take the flag down first? Did he take the flag down
No,
first?
he
and she
tries
put it
to, and
up
the
after?
wife's like, "No."
Has that been
Yeah,
alleged?
wait,
that
I
he
don't
did?
know. Wait. To be clear, I don't know if it would change my mind, but it would move me quite a bit. Yes, it would
Yes.
move me quite a bit.
I mean, isn't it reasonable that, like, I don't know, instead of just storming out, is like, again, go take it down? And I don't know, just the fact that he doesn't take action immediately is.
This is, by the way,
What if she says, like, I'm going to put it
Hold
right
on.
back up?
I want to go
as
back to
soon
the
as it's done?
conjoined
I'm
twin.
sure you do want to go back, but this is where you lose normal people. Okay, when you're setting a standard here, normal people will get lost, and it's like, oh, I came home, I saw an extremely offensive thing in my yard, and I left it there. That's not a reasonable thing to expect to have from someone. Just not when that
It's
thing
not
happens.
when someone. First
No
thing
one
I
would
would
do
do.
that. No
The
one would do
first
that.
thing I would do is go inside and be like, "Why the hell did you put that up?"
That's
Isn't that the first thing you would do? What would you do?
No, if using an
The
extreme
Nazi flag?
example, if there was a Nazi flag in my front yard, I would remove it as fast as as possible.
Okay, I would remove
and
the
then I would deal with
swastika
it. So you would remove it as fast as possible, and
Yes,
then
I
deal
would.
with
I
the
would remove
follow-up?
this. Yes, I'm making a distinction between the swastika and the upside down flag. I thought that was a reasonable distinction to make.
No,
but you
actually,
guys-
I don't think it is. When you're in the middle of deciding something that is so charged and political, I would be like, "Oh, shit, you dumb fucking bitch! I'm a fucking justice. Did you forget that? You know what's gonna fucking happen to me if anyone sees this? God, you're so fucking retarded." That's what would happen.
You would say that to your wife?
And if he can't, well, if he can't even stand up to his own wife, how is he going to stand up to the president of the United States?
Okay, can we go back to the conjoined twin example?
You want to go back there because there's no fucking good answer for why you wouldn't just remove it immediately.
No, I think that that's a reasonable effort you could take. I think it's also reasonable to talk about.
It's not reasonable.
Someone else.
A reasonable effort is you fucking use your hands and remove it. You have a right to do that. Now, if your wife wants to fight you on that, physically,
You fight her.
Well, she can fight you, and then you can call the police if she wants to physically restrain you
Hey,
from
you're not
doing your
fighting-
rights.
you're
But
not
there is
fighting your wife.
There is
You're
no
fighting for
standard
democracy.
that's being taken here, like time to discuss and contemplate. There's
Okay.
only removing the flag or not removing the flag. Inaction is action, and he chose inaction.
Wait, can I have to say this is a point
You know,
of
there's
personal,
this thing in
this is the point of
Louisiana.
personal privilege. Wait, I
There's
want
a thing in Louisiana
Oh
that they
my
do
God,
that's
no one
pretty
cares.
interesting. It's an expression there. They don't do something, okay? They're fixing to do something, which is funny. It's kind of a unique thing to
Well,
the South.
so he was fixing for 2 days.
You can't be fixing to take down the flag. You're either taking it down or not taking it down. It's
Okay.
a 1 or a 0.
It's a 1 or a 0. Got it. I just have to make a point of personal privilege. I'm going to start this by shilling. The Silly Series is a great content creator. Everyone should follow her Substack in the chat. That's, everyone should follow that. But I see you, Silly Serious, put in some comments in there, and they're triggering me. And so you should all follow her Substack. But at the same time, stop your little comments. They're triggering. Anyway, that's my take is my take. I think that you should be given the room, the rope to have a reasonable effort to take down the flag. And I think a few days ain't that bad. No one died because of the few days.
What a
is a
non
reasonable
sequitur.
effort to
People
tie your
died on the
shoes?
predicate event, but
What?
Like, if your shoes are untied, what's a reasonable effort? If your wife says, "I like it when they're untied," what's a reasonable effort for you to tie your shoes?
You wait a few days, time when she's not around.
Okay, so you are retarded.
Joke, dude. That's a. I don't know.
I'm sorry.
This is
Why,
not
wait,
terrible.
What's a reasonable effort then?
Wait,
I'm
why
trying
does
to
it
make this
have to be-
simpler.
Why does it have to be like black or white? Like it is either he didn't for 2 days, therefore it's fucked, and he clearly was okay with it. Why can't it just be like he fucked up by not taking it down immediately? He
You know
shouldn't
what the
have.
problem
sat
is?
there.
It
Wait,
seems
no,
like
no, no, no,
neither
no.
of
You know
have
what the
any
problem is?
common
Hold
sense
on.
Or standards.
Oh my God. Do you hear that?
Did you-
It's Michael
did you get it?
Jackson. It's Michael Jackson coming in
Is
for
it?
the
I
most
hear it.
for the most unbelievable dunk that Pisco has maybe
Oh
ever
my
experienced his whole
God.
life.
Michael Jackson or Michael Jordan?
Michael
Holy
Jordan. That's what I
shit.
just said. You
It's-
dipshit.
Holy
Michael
shit.
Jackson
It's Thriller.
is
No,
a
no.
halftime show.
It's Michael Jackson
Oh
too, because
Thriller in
this
the
is my
background.
Thriller. This is my Thriller. This is my
Yes.
Thriller. Okay, but it's also Michael Jordan too. Okay, okay, and
Both of them.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Pisco right now, you know what Pisco's doing with the, he took the flag down? Pisco's doing the, Trump tweeted at them to go home.
No.
That's exactly what you're doing.
Oh,
that is exact, and he did. He did. And you know what the response is? Yeah, 3 hours later. Except in this case, it was 3+ days later. That's what's going on here.
He was fixing to
so
do
that
it.
goes right with what I said. Is like we can be like, yeah, you fucked up by not actually doing it. Instead of just fighting with your wife, you should have gone and taken it down. We can do that. That
Well,
doesn't
but
mean
nobody
that he was
says
in agreement with
nobody says that Donald Trump fucked up. They said that that's evidence
stop.
towards his
You
intent.
know, we're making a good point, and you're
whoa.
avoiding it.
Yeah, Lycan's making a good point.
No, he's
Lycan's got a
not.
point.
No, he's not. It's evidence towards the
I
intent.
have a point. I have a point.
Why? It puts fault on him. It still puts fault on him.
I have a point. So, Stephen, I'll give you an example. Let's say it's the flag situation, and 3 days, whatever. What if there's an active fire going on in your house? What do you think is a reasonable time for a response?
Are you
talk
asleep,
about it with
or
your
what do you
wife
mean?
first? You debate it with your wife about how to
You
handle
have
it?
a button to turn off the fire. What's a reasonable response time to just press the button?
Probably as soon as you realize there's a fire.
Yeah. So maybe things that are more urgent have different response times that are reasonable.
Wait. Oh,
we agree. Yeah.
like when Alito got home, he was busy peeling off bumper stickers for 3 days, and that's why he didn't get to the flag yet. Like that. Like
he got home, saw something that undermines his entire profession and work. By the way, which I don't think either of us, me or Steve, thinks that was like just the case. Like, oh, silly wife doing wild things without my permission. He wanted it up. I still believe that. And all of this has been placating your fucking crazy belief that somehow he did not want that. I don't even subscribe to that. But even if I did,
you think that he actively wanted it.
I do.
Yeah. And so do you, right, Stephen? You think he wanted it?
I don't know if he wanted it, but I know he supports the beliefs 1 trillion %.
Yep, that's it. He may not have
he might not have wanted the outcome of everybody finding it out and it blowing up, but I think he saw it, and he was probably sipping his coffee, thinking, "Fuck that neighbor."
That's funny as fuck. They can't do
Absolutely.
anything about it either.
Yeah, fuck
I'll
'em.
just say my wife did it. Dumb
I
bitches.
keep getting this. So Joanna, I'm not going to treat the ISIS flag the same as the upside down American flag. I'm not going to treat
normal
the same.
flags, please.
It's not the same.
Is Joanna on our side? We win.
Apparently.
Goddamn win button.
Like, it's not the same thing. The ISIS flag is very different.
What about a Hamas flag and his wife supports Palestine?
Yeah, what about that? Is that different? Hamas
It's a
is
fucking
designated
terrorist organization.
Yeah, so would you take a few days to do that?
What about
Would
the
that
Proud
exclude
Boys,
you?
the Oath Breakers?
What about the Israeli flag?
What about an organization that purported Hamas, but you didn't directly support
Wait,
Hamas?
why are we going down this? We already said. I said. I think Pisco agrees. He fucked up not taking it down.
What do you mean? He did take it down.
No, he fucked up not doing it right away.
No, I think he took reasonable efforts. I think that's fine.
Ooh.
I think he should have done it right away.
Lycan was trying to give you the alley-oop, and you just fucking dropped it on the ground.
No, because if I say he didn't take reasonable efforts, then
You've already lost.
it's
It's easy to just like concede now and move on, and maybe you can win on a future
Make your
thing.
argument- this
You know,
doesn't make
like
your
the
argument
big thing.
stronger.
Yeah, this is a Dan strategy. If you're losing, the best thing you can do is admit defeat and move on to something where you can win, because you're
I'm
only as
absolutely
good
not
as your last W.
I'm absolutely not admitting defeat. I think that the calls
That's your
for
problem. You
Alito
should
to
admit
recuse
defeat and then
himself
find a
based on this
technicality that you can beat
episode
us
are
on.
way overblown. I think you guys are applying a standard you would never apply and never did apply in previous instances with like these kinds of situations when they emerged. I bet you.
see.
if
And your
there was
evidence
a
of that is
Black
asking
Lives
us if we
Matter-
would apply
I
it, and
bet
we said that we would.
I bet you
Yes,
if there was a Black Lives Matter bumper sticker on Sonia Sotomayor's car, you would not be calling for her to recuse herself on everything related to police brutality. I am positive that Stephen would not be doing that. Would you?
Now we're like
what is a police? Were there police
hypotheticals.
brutality things before the court?
Don't play into his games. There's nothing to win here. He's just a
what?
wild debate
what?
bro. That
How am
is
I a
nothing.
debate bro? This has been my position for ever since this happened, and I'm not someone who's going to give the benefit of the doubt to Alito all the time.
I think you're just being contrarian for some reason. I don't
So
know
okay,
why.
what did you want to happen? You wanted him to recuse himself on everything.
I wanted him to remove the flag right away. I would have been so okay with that. Imagine there was footage, Steve. He comes home, sees this flag. It's his neighbor's fucking camera. He says, "That fucking goddamn bitch," fucking goes, kicks down the flagpole, says, "Samantha," or whatever the fuck his wife's name is. "Samantha, you fucking, what the fuck? are you out of your fucking mind? And then the door shuts and you hear some fucking shouting and things like that inside. I'd be like, you know what? I don't think he should have recused himself at all. That's fine. I'm good with it. That's what I would like to see happen. You know what doesn't happen? Ah, man, there's a flag up. Let me discuss that with the wife. Let me, give me a few days. Maybe I can take that down. We gotta be on the same page. I can't have any controversy in the old marriage. That'd be a little wild.
Next time something happens where it is a liberal justice or something like that.
Pisco, bad faith incoming.
What's bad faith?
Nothing. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Holding you to your own standard, because you never apply these the other way around. You haven't even read the Her report, Stephen.
It's time for the greatest hits.
The Her report.
It's time for the
You don't even
Pisco's
know
greatest
anything about
hits.
it.
We're one step away from saying that he's obsessed, and why do you care so much?
True.
Pisco, what the hell does the Her report have that he declined to bring charges?
Exactly.
Pisco, you're just obsessed about this. I don't know why you care about this issue so much. It's not even that important.
I care about not having double standards.
Oh
I care about not having double standards. And Stephen would never apply this standard to his favorite Democrats or to Joe Biden. You heard him before, by the way, Josiah. I was like, would it be corrupt for Joe Biden to?
Are you appealing to authority right now? Not a good look. That's another debate strategy.
Wait, I just want you to be clear, Josiah.
We're doing bandwagon here.
Josiah, I asked Stephen, would it be corrupt for Joe Biden to pardon his own son? He's like, no, I don't. I'd have to think about that a little more. It's bullshit. He never applies the same standard to Democrats.
Wait, is that what he said, or did he say he probably wouldn't give a fuck because of what?
I'm not sure. Yeah, that's what he said.
How crazy that the Josiah was basically almost guessing my position without even having heard the conversation. Oof.
Yeah.
How was he guessing? You said that you wouldn't care.
I didn't say that. I said it would depend on which ones we're talking about dismissing, because I said everything for the tax fraud seemed reasonable.
You think he should be pardoned for that?
For the gun stuff? I would have to think a lot about the gun stuff. I would have to do some actual. My understanding is
his own beautiful son.
My understanding is I don't know if anybody has ever been charged like this with this crime in the history of forever. I don't know if that's ever been the case.
Wait, you can't laugh this away. This is
he has to, because
an obvious, very political case that's been brought against Hunter Biden because he has the last.
You understand that's the exact same argument against the New York case against Trump.
Yeah, but you understand that just because two people say the same thing doesn't mean it is the same thing, right?
Yeah, that isn't the case. Okay, Trump.
You can't just appeal to novelty. You have to say
you don't appeal to
novelty.
I literally just said
that this case has been brought against anyone ever.
Show me another time.
There's a video of them doing drugs being used against them. You won't. You're not going to answer the question, will you?
Show me
a million times where someone's been going to jail where they've had their appraisals out of whack and they've done
tax benefits. That's not even what the New York case is about. You don't even know anything about it, so you're lost.
I don't know anything about the New York tax case. Okay, I'm sorry, my bad.
New York tax case? Did you say New York tax case or business records case? You don't even know.
Oh my God. What you're trying to do right now is you're trying to hinge on a technicality. You're doing have you read the book? Oh my God. He hasn't even read the book. He doesn't even know. I know you're wrong. I know you're wrong. I know that much.
Pisco, are there any circumstances that you would tolerate a president pardoning their child?
Yes.
Okay. And why doesn't this one qualify?
Because there's nothing of evidence. There's no amount of evidence, in my opinion, to show that those charges are not based in fact or law.
Oh, so pardons are only for when the person didn't actually do the thing?
No. And the other considerations.
Did you guys hear what he just said here? Oh my God.
And the other considerations of pardons have not been established, which are, that he is, that he has apologized, that he's taken ownership and responsibility, all that kind of thing, and that he's served a sufficient amount of time, that the sentence is inordinately long. Those things haven't been established. He hasn't even been sentenced yet. And so, I mean, really, I'll ask you, doesn't he deserve to go to prison for tax fraud, intentional tax fraud? Josiah? You won't even say, you're a Democratic shill too, Josiah. You won't say that people who are tax frauds deserve to go to jail, even though one of the. Hang on, I'm going to finish. I'm going to finish.
To calm the fuck down.
He shot out of a cannon. He shot out of a cannon right now.
I have said.
Wait, I'm going to finish this, Josiah, and then I'll let you go.
Right. He's so desperate for the W. He wants to do it. Drop the mic and run away.
One of the theories of Donald Trump's business records crime, which makes it a felony, is that he overpaid his taxes, and he might go to jail for that, for overpaying his taxes. But you're not willing to say that Hunter Biden probably deserves at least some jail time? You're not willing to say it?
What a simplistic, retarded take of what Trump did. Oh my fuck! That he overpaid his taxes? There was no other benefit he got? Maybe some lower interest rates? Something like that? Could he possibly have gotten those benefits?
That's not at all what the case is about. You don't even know what the case is about. So you should
Oh
shut
my
up.
god,
You
I
shut
do
up.
know what the case is
No,
about. I
what's
know
it
more
about?
about real estate than you do. Do you
It's
want
not
to play in
about
this
real
game?
estate, you idiot. This is
It's about him and Mar-a-Lago.
funny.
Okay.
No, it's
why
not.
are you
You're
laughing?
an
Okay,
idiot.
just we can laugh then. That's fine. I
You
don't know.
wait,
I don't know. We'll just laugh. You don't know. Attorney not knowing. Oh my god! I can't believe it.
See, this is why I do the audio on the show, guys. See how
we're not
fucked
talking
Dan's mic
about
is?
we're not
There it
talking
is.
about the we're not talking about the asset inflation case, which is a civil case. We're talking about the hush money case, Dan. You
Oh,
idiot.
we're going to the Stormy Daniels case. Gotcha. I'm
That's
sorry.
what
I
we're
thought that when
talking
we were
about.
talking about the taxes and how we paid more.
Yeah, because you're an idiot. You don't
that
understand.
was going to be around what
you don't
the
even
case
understand what I was
about.
referencing. I was talking about his actual.
Yes, I forgot
did.
about the taxes and the Stormy Daniel hush case. That's my fault.
So you don't understand because that's actually one of the key theories of the case is that he overpaid his taxes. You didn't know that because you haven't read up on the case because you're just assuming things, Dan. You're assuming, and you know what happens when you assume? You make an ass of yourself, and that's what you just.
No, it's out of you and me. You don't even know how the expression goes. I'm on a.
Oh, he ran. Sorry, Josiah. I said you were going to have your space.
No, I've told you. I've said before, I think on Live and Learn, I know on my channel, that I do think it'd be wildly inappropriate for the president to pardon Hunter, even though I know that the charges are very rarely brought. But I also have a higher standard for the president, wielding their constitutional powers, even if it, like, I actually impose ethical stipulations on the president that are not found in the Constitution because that pardon power is absolute. And by the way, it's just kind of funny that this question is even being posed at a time when, in the light of the Supreme Court immunity decision, where, these things are like not even reviewable. They're like, we can't even cast aspersions about how the president exercises certain prerogatives. I've said from the beginning, though, that I think it'd be wildly inappropriate of the president to do so. I also said that it's superhumanly ethical of Biden to allow the charges against Hunter to be brought in the first place. Because as you well know,
it is not superhumanly
yes,
ethical.
it could.
It is the basic principles of this country that law favors.
I'm sorry, but right now, basic principles of this country is only being adhered to by one half of the political establishment right now. So it is superhuman. Yeah.
But let us not take the opposite approach, which is just assume that just because we have a normal president who abides by the basic structures of our institution and our system, that
wait
is
a minute,
a
but wait,
superhuman act of anything. It is a expectation we should have of anyone holding office in this country.
Wait a minute. Do you think? I'm trying to figure out if I agree or not.
No,
you said superhuman
you don't.
so many
because
times.
What Pisco because what Pisco is ignoring is the fact that your environment, is going to heavily influence how your actions are being perceived, right? If you get startled and you turn around and you shoot somebody, should an ordinary person do that? Absolutely not. That'd be ridiculous. But if you were in the middle of like a fucking battlefield in wartime or whatever, the standards for behavior and what everybody's going to be thinking is going to be changing a lot, of course. The fact that Biden is adhering to what we would consider to be a basic norm at a time when the ex-president had a literal fucking pardon list for criminals that were involved in criminal conspiracy to keep him in office, that is a superhuman adherence to everything that the president should stand for in this political climate. Absolutely.
You are the best of us.
He is the best of us, God damn it.
Pisco, think about this. He could have affirmatively killed that investigation, or he could have just allowed it to die, because David Weiss, the Trump-appointed U.S. attorney investigating Hunter, it's customary that U.S. attorneys resign when a new administration comes into office. Biden requested David Weiss stay on payroll, that he not offer his letter of resignation. He didn't even need to do anything affirmatively. He could have just let Weiss resign, and that would have killed the investigation.
True.
You guys want Blue MAGA Trump in office. I've realized.
Now back to the trolling. He's trolling. He's trolling.
You guys want Blue MAGA. I mean, you really wanted someone to come in there.
No,
and
listen. Hey, wait. No. What I want is recognition that Joe Biden allowing the criminal investigation and prosecution of his only living son, when he had the power 3 or 4 different ways to kill it, I think that is exceptional. And maybe you could say, maybe you're right, in a vacuum, that should be the bare minimum, that we have any chief executive should be of such character that they would not abuse the absolute powers of their office or indulge in the absolute powers of their office to protect their children. But I don't think in the political climate we live in that that's common. I think what Biden did was exceptional.
Okay.
You disagree?
Understand that. I think it shows he's an honorable man and the best president we've had in my lifetime.
The best of us.
He was the best of us. And I just want to take a moment, quick shout out to Christina Applegate and to Joe Biden, that really, this guy deserved your vote in 2020. and he was an excellent and exceptional president. All that
Tina
said,
Applegate, the actress.
yeah, that's my aunt.
What?
What?
What do you mean? What?
Is that a meme? Like your aunt?
No, that's his aunt.
Your aunt is fucking Kelly from Married with Children.
Yeah, my uncle is Edward J. Olmos.
Fuck you, fucker. All right.
You think I was related to Christina Applegate? That's it.
Well, you know what? You know where my folly was. Here's my mistake. I trust Lycan a lot, perhaps too much. He abused our friendship right there. Yeah.
I actually was in the Marine Corps with who's the chick who sang
Fuck
Jagged
you. I
Little
trust
Pill?
you. Alanis Morissette.
Yeah, I went to.
You were in the Marine Corps with Alanis Morissette, Canadian pop star.
With her niece.
I don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
I don't know either.
You're just trolling on everything.
So I'm not trolling on.
You guys want to know a real fun fact? Like, this is not a troll.
That's exactly what you would say
if you're
in a prelude to a troll.
No, I swear to God, my uncle introduced Newt Gingrich to the woman that he cheated on his wife with.
Wow.
Wow. Why?
Wow, politics.
He cheated because of politics?
No. Wait, why did he cheat, or why did my uncle introduce him? I don't know why he cheated. He cheated because his wife had cancer and he's a dick.
Oh.
Wow. Jeez.
You're saying it's never okay to cheat on your cancer spouse?
I'm not doing this debate.
That's what Steven was doing. That's what Steven was doing.
Did you just call her a cancer spouse?
I didn't know that. The words. I'm misspeaking. All right. There's something about this conversation. I'm misspeaking all the time.
God damn. So, in summation, you are going to stream the debate, Steven?
Yeah.
No,
why wouldn't I? Yeah.
I just don't know if there's a chance of your channel getting nuked, because I was thinking about doing it myself, but
I'm just
I
doing
don't
it
want
on
to risk my
Kick.
channel.
The platform that supports freedom of speech.
Fair.
And fair use.
And Pisco's going to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
And then my last question for you besides that is, where's all this J6 stuff? Are we reaching the culmination?
I've been getting dragged down every day by dumb shit, and now I've wasted 4.5 hours on this conversation.
You invited me, sir.
Not for this.
You didn't invite me, but I just barged in anyway.
What is the debate, guys? And when
There's
is
no
it?
debate.
The presidential debate.
There's
Pisco didn't even know. Pisco, will you admit that you didn't know there was another presidential debate coming up? Will you admit that you had no fucking idea that Kamala Harris from the Democrats is going to debate Donald Trump?
I can't admit that.
No, he did know, because he's going to be flying an upside-down flag outside his porch in solidarity.
No.
Actually,
no, his partner will be flying the upside-down flag. Okay, let's
and
be
it'll
clear.
take him 3 days to remove it.
Yes, true.
Oh, there you go. After getting BTFO, Dan came back.
Remember how I said it's like you're kind of looking for the W here, but the totality of the thing is so bad that there's no way you can go out on a W.
We'll see. We'll see what the YouTube comments say, and we'll see what August title is, because usually August will hint at who won the debate in the title.
Really?
Who all? Okay, how are we betting? Obviously, all of our assholes were clenched the last time. But what about this one?
Steven thought that Joe Biden won the first debate. That's how Blue Mage is.
What? I definitely said that for sure. That definitely sounds like something I said. Yes.
Was there a winner, Pisco? I don't know if there was a winner, because Trump was terrible too.
Oh, so Josiah, you literally think that it's possible that there was like an equal?
Careful.
Okay,
He's baiting you.
Biden had the worst rhetorical performance, I should say, or the most uneven. Trump didn't engage with any of the questions substantively and lied the whole time. So if that constitutes a debate victory in your mind,
for me, winning in this context means relatively coming off better. Sorry, getting more out of it for the purposes of winning the election. That's what I mean by winning. What do you mean by winning? Like, who had the best points?
Sure. I think that's part. I mean, I'd like to think that that's part of it.
Then Trump lost the debate.
Yeah, that's why I said I don't know if anybody won, because I think they struggled in different respects. There's no question that Biden was held to a higher standard and he suffered more consequences. But quite frankly, I think that that's been the case for all of Trump's opponents. They're all held to a higher standard.
Because of people like Pisco.
Because of people like me. Because people like me, I have been on the front lines fighting against MAGA while you were just doing video games. I was the one pushing you to get.
And
more
now we've
involved in
switched places, and now Pisco is the herder.
No. What happened?
What's that line from The Dark Knight?
I feel like I'm radicalizing you guys. That all of a sudden, when I and pushing a little bit of moderation, you guys intuitively, you need to fight back against me because you need
He's
to
trolling.
disagree with
It's
me.
a troll.
This is not a troll. And all of a sudden, you've been radicalized by me in a way that I didn't intend. Yes, you guys are radical. Pepe wins. All right, this is getting out of hand. My concluding thoughts on everything is, Stephen, you should read the Her report.
And the Colorado Supreme Court case. Because I didn't read that one, remember?
Why do you... I accused you of lying, and I still think that you lied in that moment. How do you still maintain, like, friendly relations with me?
Because I just... half the stuff you say is a troll. If Rob just would troll more, he would have made it out alive, but...
All right. Well, this has been great. I love everybody, including and especially the conservative DJGers.
You know.
You might disagree with me, conservative DJGers, but I'm trying to fight for freedom and fairness, and that will be applied to you. And when I see something that's an overreach by Blue MAGA, like Destiny and Josiah, I'm going to call it out. And you can trust me to be fair and balanced always.
Fucking A. Hell yes. I am Blue MAGA.
Well, that was fun. Dan, Steven, Lycan, you guys have a great rest of your day.
Be careful.
You too, buddy.
See ya.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Do any of you two have anything?
I was thinking of the line in Seinfeld where the dude goes up to Jerry and he's like, "So this offends you as a Jew?" And he goes, "No, this offends me as a comedian." I feel like with Bisco right now, he's like, "Guys, we're on the same page. Don't worry."
True.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll let you get back to your very exciting J6 research.
Thanks. Have fun. Be careful.
Bye.
Bye.
Careful. Bye.